everybody. Good night and welcome to Color Guards episode 3. Thank you guys so much for sticking with us as we sorted out some technical issues getting started tonight. But we are so excited to bring you guys this third episode of Color Guards and some very exciting news that comes along with it. First of all, thank you guys so much to all of our supporters. We actually made Twitch affiliate last night during our rebroadcast of episodes 1 and 2. Woo! We did it! Thank you guys so much for all of your continued support. Continue sharing us out to everybody that you know. Again, we are so excited to be able to bring this LGBTQ inclusive D&D live stream show to everybody. And one of the best things about us that we're very, very excited for is this can be for everybody. If you have played D&D for ages, if you have never played D&D before, like Sarah here, who has played exactly 2 games now of D&D. This stream is perfect for you as you're kind of learning the rules along with it. Everybody should know D&D, there are a lot of gatekeepers, unfortunately, when it comes to Dungeons & Dragons. And if you've been following along on Twitter and social media this week, you've learned a lot about gatekeeping when it comes to tabletop role-playing games. But one of the best things that we love about Dungeons & Dragons here on Color Guards is that we want to help reiterate the fact that Dungeons & Dragons can and should be for everybody. So please, 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 if you know anybody who is a little reticent about learning about tabletop role-playing games or has never really thought that maybe it could be for them, please send them our way. We're more than happy to continue answering questions or continue showcasing them that anybody can learn this fantastic game, and it really is all about being able to hang around with a bunch of fantastic friends and storytellers and be able to tell the stories that we want to tell and that we feel that we need to tell. It's very important to us. And now that we are Twitch affiliates, you can subscribe to our channel. Yeah! You can subscribe normally, or if you are an Amazon Prime member, you can actually use your Amazon Prime membership to Twitch Prime subscribe. I know it's a very weird thing, but you can actually get 1 free Twitch Prime subscription a month if you combine your Amazon Prime account with your Twitch account. There are all sorts of various things about that. If you have any questions or concerns, please tweet at us at ColorGuardsRPG. We promise we will fill you in on the process if you have any questions or concerns. But you get 1 free subscription with that, or you can always subscribe to us the old-fashioned way. And this is going to continue supporting the stream, being able to grow and being able to provide more content for you guys, being able to provide greater content for you all. We're already looking at ways that we can continue supporting and promoting all the different ways that we can bring you more content than just our regular Sunday game. One thing that we are going to continue doing is last night we had a lot of success with our rebroadcast of the first 2 episodes of Color Guards. What we are going to continue doing is every 2 episodes we will stage a Saturday night rebroadcast of those next 2 episodes, so that the following Saturday after the 4th episode, which would be after next Sunday, the first Sunday of April, after that, on that following Saturday, we will turn around and have another rebroadcast where members of the cast and crew can continue jumping into chat from time to time and answer any questions that you guys might have about the stream, about our take on Dungeons & Dragons, about our take on the world of Ravnica and Magic the Gathering. Anything that you guys might be interested in, we're more than happy to help answer questions and continue to have that open communication with you all, our audience. One other thing that we want to continue to promote today is Happy Trans Day of Visibility to all of our trans participants, our trans viewers, everybody that continues to support us from the trans community. We thank you guys so, so much. We do regret the fact that you guys have disadvantage on all of your stealth checks today because you were so visible. I know everybody's laughing at me because I promised that I was going to make that joke, and I know it's an absolutely terrible joke, but I don't care. Because it's a D&D joke about trans visibility, and let's be real, we probably couldn't have actually been able to even make that joke a couple years ago. So I'm so excited about the fact that our trans brothers and sisters and members of the community are actually able to be visible and proud of who they are in this community. So with all the love in the world, thank you guys so, so much. I think that is all of the announcements that we have for tonight. So with that, we are going to recap where we are here in Color Guards episode 3. So episode 1 saw the party come together at a public display for Azorius Law 3061-D, which decreed that the Azorius Senate, one of the 10 guilds of Ravnica, were able to build a maximum security facility utilizing the land and territory of 2 other guilds, the Selesnya Conclave's Beast Haven and the Gruul clan's Red Waste, to build this maximum security facility that they would have full control over. They would decree who went there, they would decree what laws were determined to send people there, and they would be the ones running it, basically giving them automative control of this maximum security facility. Naturally, everyone else on Ravnica was not about that. So they launched a public display that took place on the Transguild Promenade, where everybody could go and voice their concerns and talk about and show why they were not in favor of Azorius Law 3061-D. Now, when all of the party arrived there, they met with each other, they conversed, they realized who knew who and how those connections made up to make up this merry band of very eccentric adventurers that you see before you. And while they were there, they spotted a few flying machines that looked very different than anything they had seen before. And very shortly afterwards, riots broke out, caused primarily by 4 goblin gang members that had started to spur things within this public display. And they saw these flying contraptions start to turn on members of the public, acting as sort of riot control devices, setting out sleep-inducing mists and shocking people with stun guns that came out from the front of them. The party was able to subdue and destroy one of these devices, and in examining it and meeting separately, they were able to get a little bit more information about it. They found that it had a lens at the front that had a memory capturing spell attached to it that would continue depositing memory strands, which is traditionally Demir magic. One of the other guilds primarily involved with passing messages across guild to guild, or just capturing secrets themselves. As the party continued to look into these devices, they stopped off at a warehouse where they found a Demir operative disguised as a Azorius member who escaped as a mist form, Lady Vey, not before being charmed by our dear Darrison LeMay, who found a little bit of information out and found where he could go find her later, but we will see how that certainly turns out. The party also found a bit of information in investigating the 4 goblin gang members who had started the riot back at the Transguild Promenade through Lucian and Darrison, of which Darrison actually made friends with one of the other gang members who was going to go get information. At this time, as the party has gathered a little bit of information, we are actually on our way to Beast Haven in Selesnya Conclave territory, where the party has found out that these lens memory capturing devices have actually been being shipped to this location close to Beast Haven, close to where the Azorius Senate is actually going to be repurposing part of it for the Udzik Maximum Security Facility. So that is where we leave off tonight. So, you guys have gathered together back in Precinct 2, back under Thone's tree, where he rested for the evening.
I forgot about the tree.
Oh, of course he had the tree. So we have gathered back under Thone's tree. We have checked in with each other to see what our plan of action is, whether we were going to go into Selesnya territory and check in on this location, or if we were going to head off to meet in with the contacts that Darrison now has made after befriending the goblin gang members, chasing them down. And you all decided as a group that it would be better to check in with the Selesnya Conclave location first, before going later on in the evening and checking in with the goblin gang members as it kind of hits nightfall and you can maybe surreptitiously and more subvertively meet up with a gang rather than doing so in the middle of broad daylight.
Yeah.
So you guys are making your way there.
Okay.
This is in the middle of Precinct 3, and Thone, you are quite familiar with this territory, given that this is where you hail from. You aren't intimately familiar with the neighborhood of Beast Haven itself, but you have spent a number of walks through there as it goes. Beast Haven is a very different neighborhood than probably any of the rest of you, save probably Korak and Thone, are used to. Beast Haven is a very open neighborhood. And what I mean by that is all of the streets and all of the rooftops and all of the pillars and street lamps and things like that are practically full of beasts and creatures and critters of the natural world. You notice that all of the architecture around here is designed to be much more open and free. You don't see anybody interacting with the animals. You don't see them petting them, feeding them, anything like that. You see the areas of businesses and homes are very open and free. No solid rooftops a lot alongside of them. You see a lot of fabric rooftops, so things can kind of like climb in and out and climb along top of poles. The area within Beast Haven gives a lot of freedom to the natural animals of Ravnica, and is designed in such a way that the natural world and greenery starts to blend in along with it. So maybe one of the poles of one of the street vendors is actually one of the trees that's growing right alongside the street, so that it doesn't disrupt, it just kind of is built alongside of it. You as you are making your way through the streets, Thone, having been here before, you're better able to kind of lead the way. So go ahead and continue walking along and introducing people to your neck of the woods.
All right. Well, this is the place that I don't directly call home, but I'm familiar with the open area, and I'm genuinely curious as the facility that we're seeking out, how it really hides anything, considering that there's so many creatures here and we're always so open and communicative.
Great.
So I'm very interested in finding this location.
So as you're looking around, go ahead and give me a perception check, and I do believe you have advantage on those.
Perception. Yes.
Bless you.
Not very good. That's a 11 total.
11 total. So looking around, it's not an area that you're quite familiar with, so you don't catch anything like too terribly out of the ordinary in terms of like people that may be acting differently than they would. But one thing that you do notice, bless you,
Bless
oh my
you.
lord, are you gonna go for
Sorry.
3?
No, it's always 2.
So,
Always do.
so one thing that you do notice that sticks out very clearly is as you are getting closer and closer to the location that you're looking for, you notice a number of buildings and vendors and sections that have written notices. And you can't quite see unless you like go up near close to it, but in the corner of it you see the Azorius symbol in blue and white, kind of like emblazoned on this parchment along the posts and the like entranceways as you near closer to this area.
That's very disappointing. I like keeping Azorius out of this area completely.
Good luck with that. I mean, seeing as they've already declared part of my land and your land, I think it's pretty much to say that they don't give a fuck.
They haven't declared anything yet.
Can I go up and like take one down off the post and see what it says?
Of course. You grab one, you kind of like rip it off the post, and you go to read it. And this is a notice of promise of sale or potential eviction should there be no response for this property in relation to Azorius Law 3061-D. So this is a writ of notice that notifies the inhabitant that they may sell their property to the Azorius Senate. Otherwise, if there is no response directly back to the Azorius Senate, that the Azorius Senate will evict and claim this property in notion of the writ Azorius Law 3061-D.
No, this cannot stand. Are there any Azorius guards around?
You don't see any directly where you currently are. As you near closer to where you're heading, you can see they've almost got sectioned off with those same blue lines of barrier that you saw sectioning off the Transguild Promenade whenever the riot broke out. You can see sectioning off like a clearing, and you see it leads back into this much more natural area of Ravnica. You can see there's a section that leads up to the tall. You can see far up overhead the Transguild Promenade, far away this end of it, and you can see that there's this section back where you are of almost like rocky cliff face, probably what was much more natural Ravnica at one point, that the Selesnya is much more inclined to preserve. And you can kind of see that there's this little rockway, and you can kind of see amidst it this little clearing far past it. But you are on along the side of it, you can see within that little clearing there, you see a few members of the Selesnya Conclave. You see a dryad woman standing there, spear in hand alongside of her, arguing furiously with this well-dressed Azorius man, and a Selesnya guardsman actually at the front of this almost cave-like entrance that's along this kind of like rocky pathway into that clearing, that looks like he is both blockading the way and checking in, and you can actually see there's a number of Azorius men that are like trying to get in and trying to like go into that clearing.
Right. Yeah, I need to approach them. There's an open area, and the Azorius do not have any say here.
Unfortunately, the barrier itself will not let you in. Like you try to approach, and it's not going to let you in. And you can see a few of the other like random Azorius guards that are within there say, "I'm sorry, sir. We're in the middle of official guild business between the Azorius and the Selesnya. We're currently discussing rights to begin and continue the destruction and the demolition of one of the areas within. So we are going to need you to stay back."
The Azorius have no say here.
It's like, "I'm very sorry that you feel that way, sir. However, according to Azorius Law 3061-D, we are currently in the process of reclaiming these areas in the name of the Azorius Senate, and we are currently in delegations," and he kind of like points back to the functionary who is arguing with the Dryad. "We're currently within delegations and debate regarding that."
Well, my friends, do you have any idea of how to approach this without using our fists?
Go ahead and roll me an intelligence check at advantage. I know you're not quite the intelligence
Not particularly my strength.
but it's okay.
That is a 16.
16. So the location, now that you have your bearings a little bit and you've been kind of turned away by this Azorius guard, the location that you have according to the docket that you received from the makers of the lenses, it's actually probably like right at the corner of this block. So if you were to continue like walking to the other end of this little entrance, along the side of these buildings here, you can see a little bit more closed in building along this corner here.
Okay, so it's not behind the
It is
zone.
not, and you can see now that now that you kind of like have a little bit better bearings and things, you can see along the side of it numbers of like Azorius iconography. Like this is one of their owned buildings within the thing. Like they've set up shop here.
Well, yeah, I will approach that. I'll go see who we can talk to, see what they're trying to do.
Okay. So you all watch as Thone kind of like points out the building that you all are thinking after he was turned away by these Azorius guardsmen kind of being douches. So he points over to that and you guys kind of head in. And you can see the windows of this building are actually much more dirty than you would expect a Azorius location to be. The Azorius are very clean and neat people. They like rules and confines and things. And this location itself appears a little bit more well used. There's a lot of soot and like grime along the windows itself. As you guys are peering into the windows leading up to the door, go ahead and everybody roll me a perception check.
19.
What was it? Perception?
Don't worry about
I'm looking over here and I'm like, don't worry about it.
It's too early for me. As I
Nat
drink
20.
my whiskey.
Hey, we got a natural 20.
2.
No,
I don't
okay,
see
great.
any.
No, you
so,
and I.
So you two peering in as you're looking through, you see the outline of a woman, and it takes you a minute. You can see like a little bit of blue, and you see various technical equipment within this kind of like workspace, as you can see. And you can actually see a little across the way, both of you can, since y'all rolled like on it.
Yeah.
You can actually see a number of the lens devices along the workbench, and you can see her currently working on what looks like the outline of one of these flying devices.
Oh, it's time for some Loxodon stealth.
I don't know if that's the best option at this moment.
Absolutely.
Wait, what are we stealthing into? I mean, there wasn't
Stealthing,
a
my fist
clear...
is stealthing against the inside of this.
I
way
can't see
too
anything
hungover for
through this dirt and grime. What's going on?
Yeah, what did you see?
Oh,
Please, somebody
there's a
enlighten
woman
us.
inside that seems to be
Mhm.
making more electrical shock magic cloud things.
Electrical? Okay, yeah, I'm way too hungover
Does-
for this. Okay.
Does she seem influenced in any way, or is she
I can't tell.
kind
Just a
of
vague outline.
But this is
glazed
odd.
over?
This is odd for Azorius. They're not smutty people. That sounded weird, but they're clean shop.
They outsource.
Got
I mean,
it.
I don't know what
outsource.
Azorius you've run into, but I know
I
quite
run
the
it-
few smutty Azorius in my day.
Oh, we have stories.
Does
but
Lady
it's-
Theseus come to mind?
That is for nighttime, but right at this moment, when it comes to storefronts, they are not necessarily.
They outsource to the Demir. We already saw that.
But
That's-
okay, all right. Well, I'm just gonna drink out of my flask.
So what if this was more Demir?
Is this just like a normal looking
Demir wouldn't-
storefront, or is it like?
Yeah.
Oh.
And you can kind of like as you're kind of like peering around the front door of it, even though this facility itself looks a little bit more like enclosed and looks like it has like proper walls and things, the front door of this looks a little bit more like corral like it has the Selesnya at least
tiny
managed to
saloon.
get them to not have like completely enclosed doors.
Oh.
So it looks like it's like corral doors. Like,
Let's
like
just
the
go in and
swing
ask.
Like there's
Excellent.
actual like space along the top and the bottom to like look in. As like they're not. It doesn't look like she's hiding what she's doing.
Okay. Well, I
It's just dirty.
it's very odd.
It's lesbians. It's dirty.
It's not dirty. It's au natural.
I say we
Whatever
just
you-
go in and ask what's for sale. It's a shop, isn't it?
You're not sure if it's like an actual like store itself. It may just be like a workshop.
You're the only one.
I
that's-
mean, it's up to you guys, but I'm also intrigued on what is going on over by the cave entrance too. But I mean, we can
can't
look.
get over there.
I know you can't get over there. I'm aware of this, but it is something that we might need to just keep an eye on.
I agree.
Okay.
We should punch Azorius later.
Okay. No, I'm actually in agreement with that. Okay.
Excellent.
I'd rather
So,
punch
but
them now.
I guess we should go into the workshop. I mean,
Everybody would rather punch Azorius now, but it's not always the time.
No.
of course he
Yes.
does. Of course he doesn't.
Well, you just got stabbed. So.
Oh my God! Stop bringing it
I
up.
would like to
So-
avoid physical confrontation
You
for as,
you don't
as
think
long as I
that the
can.
Azorius needs what is coming to them, right?
I think
With this,
there are much more legal avenues we can pursue.
says
don't-
the
So
guy
as
that
they're
can't
stealing
talk
people's
himself out of a
lands,
paper bag.
That's
They're
the legal.
stealing land from nature itself.
Okay, I don't. Okay, that's a little too far, but they are.
It is too far.
You know what? I'm just gonna drink my whiskey.
I think let's go see what's for sale, and I will walk up and just
This is the way.
As
walk
they-
in
yeah,
the
you
saloon
please
doors.
talk.
So the saloon door walks in, and you can actually hear this very loud. It's not mechanical, and you can like look around as you do. There's no like bell or anything. But as the doors open, you do hear this very loud dong sound, and it kind of like catches her attention, and you just hear her continue to like work along with it. She's like, yes, I know, I'm running late. I'm sorry. I'm trying. I'm running late. I'm trying. Thank you. Please, if you can just go back to what you were working on before, that would be great. Thank you. I'm trying to get the next one out.
Oh, of course. No, I know you're working
She's
very hard.
You're not one of them. Who are you? Stop.
Who are you?
She's like holding up a wrench at this point, and you can see she is this beautiful Vidalcan woman. Her hair is very tightly crimped, very like shaved up on one side, and like held up very tight in this like tight side bun. And her hands are completely coated in like grease or soot or something. And she kind of like holds up one hand, and you can see like this leather jerkin style on it. And you see on make a perception check as you kind of like come in and greet yourself.
7.
No.
No.
You can see it looks very dinged up, like this leather jerkin and this leather armor are. She kind of like holds up a wrench, and she's like, "Who are you?"
Oh, they told me that that you were having some trouble. I know that you're under a time crunch and everything. I just started here, so they sent me to help out.
Roll a deception.
Oh no.
11.
Listen, baby, get better dice.
Your dice are pretty, but
Yeah, they're very pretty.
She's like,
Turns.
unlikely. Any of you? Who are you all?
Oh, did they
Don't
follow
make
me
me
in?
call the arresters outside. What
Why
are
are
you
you
doing?
calling?
you think I'm afraid of the arresters?
Well, hold on.
So she just
Hold
kind of
on.
like leans up a little bit further. She's like, there.
We have Thone here, who is he's around this area, and he was just curious, and we were just with him at this early hour, and he was just interested.
I was just going for a stroll.
Roll a
and
persuasion check.
nothing new.
8 plus
Minus
no,
1.
minus 1. So
7.
7.
She's like, you get to say here. So far, none of the rest of them have seemed to earn one. Stop.
Okay.
My name is Thone, and I see new buildings by the Azorius here. We mean you no harm.
She just kind of like scoffs a bit. She's like, the building may be Azorius, but none of this in here is technically, well, okay, technically it's all theirs because they hired me, but it's all mine.
What is it yours? Jesus.
You two give me a
Persuasion
perception.
checks are really, really.
Both of you give me perception checks.
Y'all are
Oh my God, no, not even a little.
An advantage.
Thone is doing much
15.
better than me.
15. So you can actually see on the right breast of her jerkin, you can see where once was the Is It League insignia has since been like heavily scratched out and like done away
What
with.
did you see?
why do you feel the need to work with the Azorius?
Because they're the only ones that will give me work at this point. I have to prove my craft in some way, because those idiots don't seem to understand what true artistry is.
What is your craft?
She says, well, this, and she turns around and she taps her wrench onto the one that she was working on, and you see it, and it lifts into the air, and the wings unfurl, and there is, right behind her, one of the devices that were there.
Yeah, we saw one of these, and we saw these beautiful things at the Transguild Promenade. They were phenomenal, and we would just like to know a little bit more about them.
She's like, did they display these at the...
Yes, they did. They're beautiful, and they were splendid, actually.
Those bastards didn't tell me they had already displayed these. These are wonderful.
Yes.
What did you think? Did you like it?
I
Was it
did.
beautiful?
I did. They were very elegant.
These were used as crowd control.
She was like, well,
Were you aware?
that's what they're designed for.
How are they designed for crowd control? Because we saw them use as crowd control, and I was just curious on like the crafts behind
Well,
them.
and she kind of like dings it on the top, and it kind of like drops down onto the very heavily. As soon as she like dings it on the top of it, it like the wings flip back in and they drop back down. It like heavily thuds on the workbench in front of her.
Okay.
And she kind of like takes it and like whips it over. She was like, so you see right here, underneath this, there is a vial right here, and it regularly refills every 24 hours, but it takes 24 hours because it's very, very powerful. But it refills 24 hours with a sleep gas that is allowed to disperse as soon as it senses any kind of aggressive attitudes around it. And this, and she kind of like opens up, like she like manually starts crinking one of the sections, and you can see now when she does so, when she showcases this to you guys, she's actually like taking her wrench and unfurling parts that you thought were filigree, and they're actually like bolts to be able to unlock these.
Interesting.
And so she's taking this wrench that she has, and she opens the front, and you can see this, and she kind of like gives it like a ding on one part rather than just dinging it itself, and the little stun rod pops out of the front.
Do I see the memory lenses in it?
Not from where you are, but you see like the memory lenses along, like that haven't been installed yet, along the workbenches and things.
Your craft is beautiful.
Just like, thank you. Those idiots in the Izzet didn't understand what I was working on.
Of course, Izzet doesn't understand beauty. They only understand efficiency.
They only understand explosions. What the fuck do you mean?
I
If
mean,
it doesn't explode or if it doesn't make lightning appear out of anywhere, then who gives a shit to them?
I give a shit because I'm into more beautiful things and how subtlety means more.
Roll a persuasion check
Oh my
at
God.
advantage.
Okay.
Because you're playing into her ego right now.
Oh, Jesus
Whoa,
Christ.
thank
Hold
you.
on, I can do this.
Dice gods.
14.
There we go.
Okay.
Minus 1, 13.
Okay.
She's like, thank you. Of course you do.
Yes.
Completely understand.
Oh, yes.
What like, you're from this area. What brings the rest of you around here?
We are colleagues. We're colleagues of Thumbs.
You said your name was Thone.
Yes.
Fascinating. You've gotten to look at these things before. What did you think?
I looked at them very up close. They're very, they're very, yes.
Wonderful.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I understand that a lot of the members of Selesnya around here, around these areas, aren't quite particular with the members of the Azorius. But I promise I'm making these things just to show the artistry of it. Whatever they do with it is their
You do
business. I
realize
make these and they send them out.
These are being used essentially by the Azorius.
Beautifully,
so that,
though.
Yes, they're being used as designed, but they are being used to further Azorius attempts at gaining more lands and more power, which won't just hurt Selesnya, it will hurt everyone, including the Izzet.
Well, I don't really care if it hurts the Izzet, unfortunately. At this point, I'm just in it for a paycheck and
Oh,
a
I
chance
get
to
it.
show my work.
I get that. You want to show your skills. You want to show what you're proudful of.
And it's not just me that's working on these. I merely take the objects that people continue to send me and I put them together, and it was my final design. I was not the person who invented it. And she kind of like points to the gas tank. She's like, I didn't do this one, the stun guard. She was like, I merely designed the device which it is to disperse all of these things and continue to fly about. I was the one who pushed for them to be able to fly. I mean, honestly, if you're going to have some type of crowd control device, you want it to fly and you want it to get to places that normal people can't get to. You're trying to control normal people. You can't have normal people controlling normal people.
I mean, that's genius. I didn't catch your name.
Yes, of course. I'm sorry.
Yes.
I talk so much about my objects. It's
No,
very
it's
rare
I
that people talk
understand.
about
I mean, it's
Uh,
something you were skilled at, and you want to just tell everyone about it.
my name is Zloval.
Slovo.
Zlovol. Zlovol. Zloval.
Slovo. That's a beautiful name.
Thank you. Yes. I hope that it is one day emblazoned across so many.
Don't
of
we all? We all want to have our name etched into our beautiful designs of things.
Too bad the Azorius are gonna take it from you before you can even get a chance.
Oh, don't worry. I have already filed all of the papers I need to have my
You
name
think that
attached
they
to
care
everything.
about that? They're using it for their own personal gain.
It's
You're
the
just
Azorius?
a pawn.
Let's be real. Bureaucracy rules them.
And one of our colleagues could help you out with that if you could just
Are you?
yes.
Are you Azorius? Are you?
I'm Orzov, but a law mage.
But he's a law mage and he is friendly with Azorius. I vouch for him. I vouch for him.
I'm very loath to owe anything to the Orzhov.
Oh, I understand.
Who said anything about owing? I am so in awe of your beautiful devices. It would be my pleasure.
Your
to do
silver
it.
tongue can go right back where it sits.
A
I know
pretty
everything
penny
there is
from
about
them.
owing things to the Orzhov, and no matter how many times they
What
tell you, you always owe. Did you owe him? Is this why you're saying things? Don't, honey, listen to me. Never owe things to this man.
Do you think
this
I owe
man,
him something?
well,
No.
you're saying his praises, and
No.
let's be real.
He's a Zoxos. He is part of the Ghost Council. It's yes. So I have to sing his praises.
He does technically owe me.
Oh,
One.
God.
Okay, for the rest of today, I'm not saying anything in his general direction.
That's
We're
fair.
just going to ignore this
Well, I'm just saying.
petulant child.
I like you.
What did I do?
Go, please.
What?
Go.
Hold your silver tongue in my workshop. Thank you.
I like huff and stop outside.
Okay.
Just go like lean.
Just
Like,
leaning
outside.
into the outside.
Very
Great.
sulk.
I will follow Lucian outside, and I wanna like look around the outside of the building. Is there like a back to the shop, or is there more to this building?
There's
from
not,
the
it's
outside?
actually butted up against like the corner of this area. So it's built up. It's literally the only enclosed building around here. All the rest of them have open areas, and it's basically just sectioned off by like curtains and things like that, because the beasts are traditionally supposed to be able to roam how they choose. And the one allowance that it seems that the Azorius have given to this building is to have a like corral door that can
Corral
swing
A
open.
door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm like, fine, our door will be able to swing open and closed and can't be locked. That's what we'll give you. So the rest of the three of you are.
Yeah, we're still in
Yeah,
there.
I guess so.
So my question is you seem like a person who believes in taking what is theirs, and I'm wondering, what is your end goal with this?
Making money, making a name for myself,
Okay, the name I make
getting
that makes more
getting
sense.
paid.
Paid?
I mean, I'm not.
That's
I'm going to go ahead and assume that all of you are gilded. Correct? Correct?
Unfortunately,
Like, I'm not
yes.
wrong. Great.
Mhm.
I'm not anymore. I literally don't have that capability. And I am damn sure not going to gild myself with those idiots outside. And she points towards the Azorius. She's like, so, while I may be employed by them, I'm not signing all of their papers to make myself one of them.
No, of course not.
So, I have to do what I have to do to survive.
Of course.
I know many of you who are gilded won't fully understand that, but let me be clear. It takes a lot to be able to get where we are.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's.
She's like, did I say something wrong?
I'm just gonna stare her down. I'm not
She's
gonna.
like, by all means, speak your mind. I don't care about any of the guilds within these walls. I'm doing this all to get paid and to make a buck.
Tread
If
lightly,
you have
Cora.
something that you want to say,
Oh,
Don't
you
tread
think it?
lightly.
You think it's so easy to be a gilded member? My ass.
I don't.
And I
think
stroke
it's
my
you-
my broken horns, and I've been through hell and back. You may be a pathetic little is it excuse me, that's trying to make a name for yourself that's only gonna get swiped done from under you. But I've been through hell and back. Try being a Boris X
Oh,
guild member.
I did not know
I
that.
would like to see you try.
Hmm.
So you can spout all this nonsense, but please don't preach guild and X guild to me.
You just kind of like stands tall, doesn't give an inch, but she just stares you down and just kind of like looks to you and says, I may have misunderstood a few of you.
That worked out.
I understand.
Hmm.
And my condolences. And
It's-
appraisal. I'll never understand what you've gone through. I never want to understand what you've gone through, but you at least understand far more of what I've been through. On an even worse level.
Perhaps, yes. I would agree with that, but just don't spout bullshit about this X guild nonsense.
Fair. Consider it done.
I poke my head in. Did you say you might have misunderstood?
Not you!
So Korak makes a good point, but and I'm a believer in getting what you want out of life, and so you want to make a name for yourself. You want a paycheck, but paychecks are insequential to what you ultimately want. What do you ultimately desire?
Well, I want to be the engineer of the 10th district.
I love that.
I want to be the person whose name is attached to those airships that you see above.
Mm-hmm.
I want to have my name attached to as many things as possible. Not the Is It League, not the Boros Legion. None of these people. I want my name. I want to be a singular entity among
Beautiful.
these 10 entities that make their name around here.
So
I've seen such peoples as Krinko and the Shattergang brothers be able to make their names outside of the guilds. Granted, their methods are a little crass, if you ask me.
and they're not as skilled as you.
Well, obviously.
Obviously.
No one is. But I'm amazed at how they have been able to separate themselves from this gilded system and really push themselves to prove that they don't have to be a part of it to make a name for themselves. That's what I want.
Okay. So here's a question. The Azorius is paying you. You were the one that makes it fly, which is obviously the most important part of the whole thing.
Well, I've designed this entire device.
And what is the device's name, by the way?
She was like, I call these thopters.
Thopters. That's a
Yes.
beautiful name.
Thank you.
So these thopters, these are your creations. Basically, you're the engineer of the whole thing. And
I would say so, yes.
yes, so I'm wondering, what makes you just not want to?
The three of you roll insight checks.
Natural 20. my hangover is getting over.
7.
6.
Okay.
So something about all of this, about like something isn't quite sitting
Okay.
well with you.
Okay.
You're not certain what it is yet,
Right.
but there's something about
I knew it.
how she's telling all of this that isn't quite.
Okay.
That there's something not quite lining up. There's something
Okay.
not quite sitting well with you. It's just kind of like I don't know what she's getting at, and I don't know what it is about it, but something is wrong.
Okay.
There has
Maybe
to be
need
a
a
reason
giant
she's
meta
at
card.
skill.
No, I agree with you. So I'm wondering, so these Thopters, and you're working
Yes.
for Azorius paychecks,
Correct.
right? Why Azorius? Why not Demir? Why not Orzhov? Why not Izzet? Why not show Izzet how magnificent you are and how better you are than everyone else?
I'm never selling my designs, is it? They're the ones who stole many of mine in the first place.
They stole.
Of course. Come on, they're self-cannibalizing assholes. As soon as somebody who thinks that they're better than you has any inkling that you're going to be doing something different, they snatch those ideas right out from under you and put their own name on it and call it a day. And as soon as they get it signed in with the rest of the Izzet League, suddenly it's their invention. No, I'm never giving it back to them.
Okay. I want to speak to not the law mage. I want to speak to our other colleague who would understand sympathetically how the world works.
Great. All of you, feel free to take a moment outside. I'm going to
Thank
continue
you.
my work. And she kind of like ushers you all to like give her a moment as she's continuing
Yeah.
the device that she's working
While
on.
they've been inside, could I have a little chat with Lucian?
Yeah, go
outside?
ahead. Absolutely.
So just brainstorming. The Azorius with the land and everything. Is there any sort of, I guess, legal precedent that we could take advantage of if, to, I guess, get in the way of construction if these were like, I don't know, historical or protected lands? You know anything about this?
Do you know anything about anything like that?
Roll
What it is,
a...
Doesn't look like you do.
11.
11?
Yeah.
There are probably some writs and regulations regarding how you go about utilizing land and territory within Ravnica. But as it is not your specialty and you primarily do a lot of like personalized crime, like crime between like person to person, things like that, it wouldn't be something that you are specialized in, but you could likely do more research and check in with other people that you know and do some like research on your own to find out.
It's not something I specialize in, but I could do some more research and check in with some people I know.
What if, just spitballing here, I guess, if it were like, I don't know, like a crime scene or something, would that maybe get in the way of things?
Oh god.
Just brainstorming.
Purely theoretically, yes.
Okay. I just, if to borrow from our buddy Thone, I do not approve of what's going on here. And I don't know. This whole thing, it's kind of fishy. Is it involved? We've got these machines, the Demir, and now I just don't think that we should allow this to proceed the way that it is. And the more chaos and disruption we could cause, I think the better.
As your counsel, I would advise against that.
But as my friend,
As your friend, I would advise against that.
duly noted. But the Azorius, what I guess, what do you think could get in their head? What could really maybe scare them off this place for a little while?
I mean, anything like misfiled paperwork or some kind of arcane law that they hadn't considered in broaching all the permits and writs to acquire these lands. You know, spooky legal things.
Spooky legal things.
You know,
Hashtags.
it's a little outside of my wheelhouse, but I kind of like it. What do you think? We maybe introduce this spooky legal law that they may have forgotten and try to, shut down this operation for a few days so we get some time to recon and get our plans together, I guess?
I think
Well, are we back? Are we out?
Yeah, y'all are still like
Yeah,
inside.
they're-
having
they're-
fun.
This is
This is
while
while
y'all
y'all
were
were
talking.
while y'all were out there.
Which I realize I have animal handling. There's a bunch of animals here.
Yeah, we could do that.
All right, so I think, we zhuzh you up a little bit. Do you know any other languages?
Yeah.
Okay, something that they wouldn't. Something kind of really out there, like
Abyssal.
very nice. So I think here's the plan. You go in, all official and shit, right? And speaking purely in, I don't know, some abyssal gibberish, and I'll be your translator.
Oh no.
Let me do the talking.
This is awful. Oh my god.
We let them know that they're in breach of this law that they must have overlooked, citing sources and files and papers galore, and just get them to clear out for a bit, and while we're there, we get a chance to kind of look around, see what's going on, see what they're up to, maybe buy ourselves a couple of days at least while they do research or whatever with their books.
Can you make him do a persuasion roll against me?
All right.
Go ahead and do a persuasion roll.
My gut is like, this is illegal.
Go ahead and do a persuasion roll.
We
and
should
you
not-
can- and
we
you
should
can-
not be
And
doing
you can do
this.
an insight
An
check.
insight
I'll
check
say
against
to
him.
like see
Oh
if
my
his
goodness.
intentions
This is
are.
great.
This is
Okay.
great.
I
Rolling
love
to
this.
corrupt the youth, 9. A 10.
Oh no.
I rolled like shit. Still
But
No.
still beat him.
Every single thing inside me says that this is an absolutely terrible idea, but for some reason, I feel like we should do this.
We're,
When are we
you know,
showing back
I
up
think
to-
it's that little bit of Selesnyan spark out here, just a little bit of the wild. Kind of makes you want to do something crazy, right?
That's more brutal.
Yeah.
And that is where you guys walk out as
I-
he's saying this.
Can I hear that?
Like that? That's
kinda
like you
makes
guys
you wanna
walk
do
out
something
as he
crazy,
says
right?
this.
I want to
line.
call bullshit on his Selesnyan.
Oh, that's true. It just makes you want to be like an animal.
Right?
Gruul
I
is
love
more
it.
animal than Selesnyan.
Okay,
You
oh.
are more a bunch of...
Gentlemen,
tree
gentlemen, you're
huggers.
both animals.
I am
Thank
an
you.
animal, thank you. But that's besides the point.
I'm worried. What did you do?
Oh no, Lucian and I were just out here
What did you?
brainstorming. I don't know.
And what's
Felt like there was really
storm?
whatever was going on in there was not going anywhere. So
Excuse me. We got the name of the contraption, and also she's hiding something.
And here's
Well,
the interesting part.
obviously, I don't trust them.
The
for a second.
Azorius like doing everything properly and legally.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that woman's proper and legal, but she's being paid by the Azorius.
I agree with him, and I didn't think I would say that
We've
this early
got-
in the game.
She's got a bunch of bullshit.
We've essentially got someone who is most likely corrupt working for an organization that would probably collapse if they knew that someone like this was exposed as working for them.
How do we
Which
know?
whiskey did I drink last night that I'm agreeing with you?
How-
I don't.
how-
Simple wisdom.
But I'm not the smartest guy here. Let me just put this. But what if she's actually a member in disguise and
No.
bullshitting us?
No, I
Oh,
don't
No,
think
there's too
so.
much pride.
Yeah, the Azorius would never do something like that. They're
You don't think
extremely
they're not
egotistical.
prideful?
She was very egotistical
Egotistical
about
and-
herself.
They are
but
also
Azorius
pragmatic.
is about the guild.
They're very pragmatic.
What if
I
she's
said
putting on a
Zilzaxos.
face?
No, I said Zilzaxos.
That doesn't mean anything. I don't even
Excuse
believe
me?
this.
Unfortunately, his name has a lot of weight.
Unfortunately?
Yes,
Unfortunately,
unfortunately.
Do
she's
you
right.
think I care about
You
names
don't.
and weights?
But somebody who's prideful, somebody who wants their things to have their name emblazoned on them, do you not think that Zilzaxos backing them would be the best thing in the world?
He didn't offer her money. I mean, she seemed pretty like, I don't care.
She
He
Oh,
didn't
I've
sneeze money.
She's obviously insane. Look at the way she treated me. Obviously crazy.
Expose her and we can take everything down.
She-
We
No,
just need to
let's
find
go
out
back to
why.
what you're doing. What are you doing?
I'm just saying, she didn't seem very interested in the whole Zilzaxos thing. So we have a new Zilzaxos thing, and I think it's going to work beautifully.
Okay.
I think that there's a lot going on here, and we just need, I think, a little more time. So, we were brainstorming, spitballing. Lucian had this really great idea that we could maybe buy a couple of days, or at least 24 hours, and get a little inside look. Do you trust me?
No.
No.
But
Absolutely not.
how beneficial would this be?
I think, and I'll pull the group aside. I think that if everything goes well, like it should, we stall the proceedings here by the Azorius for at least a day or two, and maybe get us inside the what is it, like the conclave garden, the area there, and get a look around, get some more information.
Was my name used in any of this?
No,
Okay, then I'm okay with this.
of course not. And you don't have to be a part of it. It's something we've got a dynamic duo going on here, and I think it's gonna go flawlessly.
I'd love to
I mean, if
see
you'd like,
this.
I'd appreciate an audience if you wanted to stand by, just
As long as
just in
there's
case.
concessions.
I hate to say this, but we need to. This is your area, Thone. What are you wanting to do?
All I want to do is remove the Azorius presence. And I feel like this entire thing is actually conflict within the Azorius itself. I don't think that this musty old facility is anything that the Azorius would want to be associated with. And I have a hard time believing that they allow it to be here.
I agree. So I'm thinking maybe what we could do, I go with the dynamic duo, and you two go back inside. Because
Do what?
I don't know.
As you guys
Pretty
are having this conversation and you're kind of like figuring out what to do next, you hear this almost blood-curdling scream come from near the Selesnya grove that was sectioned off. And you all look over and you all see the barriers around it drop. And you see the two Azorius guild mages that were kind of like at the end channeling it, like keeping the barrier up, rushing over towards the entrance. And you can see one Azorius guard is kind of like pulling another out from this little walkway entrance that led into the grove area out, and he has these large gashes across his chest and across his face, and he's like, please, we need some assistance. There are drakes in there that are just going wild. They've started attacking those of us that are in there trying to contain everything. Please and you watch the Azorius Lamages over there, and you see the Dryad and the guardsmen just kind of like conferring with each other, like almost in panic.
So Drakes, can I ask, would I know anything about them?
I would.
them?
Both of you roll a nature check.
I was gonna ask that.
I don't have a
I have a proficiency.
natural 20, and I have a proficiency in it, so
18.
22.
18. So both of you know, drakes are very territorial creatures. That once they have made a nest or a roost, that area is considered theirs. So it sounds like that they have disturbed a nest of these drake creatures. And now they are like actively fighting anybody within it.
So
This is wonderful news.
this is.
It
so
is?
the
It
Orzhov
is.
have come across a nest of drakes. They are firm with being there, and so I think that kind of helps our Azorius problem. Just have them all wiped out by these monsters.
As at this time, you can actually see as two more people like emerge from that grove area, and it is a Selesnya guardsman helping another dryad actually out from that area, and she also is her leaf-like hair that blends down alongside her very natural body is almost like coated in thick blood.
Am I able to approach those?
Yeah, at this
Dryads?
point the barrier is down,
Okay.
and it looks like the Azorius are kind of like off tending to their own, and you see that the one dryad and the guardsmen who are there start gathering them, and they're kind of like conferring with each other.
Yeah, Selesnya guardsmen, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to approach them.
Of course.
no.
I'm
And,
gonna follow because I'm
yeah.
curious.
Oh no.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just
I
shell
wanna-
shocked
I wanna see
looking
what's happening.
at the wounds on this dude who has approached us. Like, no.
He has a bunch of, like they're within the little grove area, but yeah, you can
Yeah.
see
Yeah.
like these large gashes and bite marks.
I want to ask them just a general question, like, what happened? This was a Drake attack. You should know better than this.
No, we traditionally keep watch over this area, but as the Azorius have continued to push their limits and continue to maintain demolition within the area, the drakes that roost here have returned at some point within this and have started attacking without abandon anybody within the area, and it seems they are just enraged at this point.
Is this the Selesnya
Yeah.
talking?
Mhm.
Okay.
I'm
It's
enraged too.
the dryad woman
Okay.
who is there, tending to her sister who's wounded on the ground.
Are there any of your sisters inside, Dryad Selesnyan?
These were the only 4 that were there within the area itself. My sister here and her guardsmen were the ones tasked with keeping watch over the grove within. Even though these are ruined areas, we wish to maintain their natural splendor, and so they are the ones traditionally tasked with protecting it. And while the Azorius have continued to push in without the proper authority as they think they have, and she shoots like dark glances towards it, and you can actually see her leaf-like hair almost like flash like an autumn orange and red for a second before it shifts back to that bright, vibrant, like summer green. Please, you have to do what they can. If they continue to have aggression, they will continue to push outside of this area and continue to attack without abandon. Please do not kill these creatures.
So
I have
Subdue them as much as you can.
I
Control them, but
have a question. I'm sure you're not a gambling woman, but if you had to bet, Drake's Azorius, who do you think's taking this one?
at this point, and she kind of like, she's literally like looking at her sister who's bleeding out in her arms. She's like, I'm going to say the Drakes are, and she's starting to like put her hands on her sister.
Absolutely.
Green magic
I
is
can't.
covering her sister.
We need to get you guys to safety. We will stay here and monitor the situation and make sure that everything goes okay. And we will make sure that these drakes are well taken care of.
Make sure the Azorius leave. Need to get them out. They're the ones that have been agitating the Drakes.
Absolutely.
She was like, we'll do what we can to keep them outside of the situation and keep them held off here. Please, if you
I want to
please
go
do it.
in.
Okay.
I wanna go in and
you
try-
just start charging.
Yes,
into
because
the-
I have ammo handling, so I want to go in.
Okay, so you all watch as Korak goes charging into the grove.
Oh no.
Okay, I'm gonna grab Lucian and we're gonna start following.
No, not again,
It's
please.
showtime! It's showtime, Lucian!
Wait.
I've got your back, okay?
Okay, I'm gonna go back to Zolvo. Is that what her name was?
Mhm.
Okay, I want to go and talk to her.
Zlovo.
Okay, I'm gonna run into her room and be like, I have a question. Does your Thopters work against Drakes by any chance?
I think it only works against humanoids.
Oh, well then you're no use. Okay.
Just
run out.
Okay, so you go charging in.
Uh,
Alright, so all of you go charging into this grove area. And that is where we're going to take a quick break as we go ahead and get set up
Oh.
before everybody goes charging into this grove, accompanied by 2 very aggressive, very angry drakes. So thank you guys so much for staying with us. Continue following along. We're going to go ahead and take about a 10 or so minute break. And then when we come back, we're actually going to come back to a map that we have set ready for you guys for this encounter with these very aggressive drakes. Thank you guys so much for sticking along, and we will see you after the break. Welcome back to Color Guards, everybody! You probably cannot see me right now as the camera is fully zoomed in on our little scene here. As we last left off, the party heard of these drakes raging and attacking without abandon anybody within this grove area as the Azorius have disrupted their nests within. So led by Korak, who is used to being able to subdue beasts and get them under control. Korak came charging forward in with the rest of the party shortly afterwards after Luminatesa realized that, nope, those Thopter things aren't used to fighting creatures.
Yeah.
So everybody came charging into this grove area, and that is where we left off. So at the top of things, I'm going to need everybody to go ahead and roll for initiative, please.
On Dice God.
And hold for your answers, and I will go around the table.
Okay,
All right,
not...
Well-
Lucian,
4.
Darrison,
We are in this together. I am at a 6.
Korak,
4.
Oh my god.
Thone,
Where
and
are you
Luminatesa.
getting this answer from? So I
Your
did not-
initiative is +3.
Plus
so
3.
12.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
So how am I at the beginning
Great.
of this fray? Okay.
And I ran
One
forward.
person above a 10 against raging drakes. This is going to
Yay.
go very, very well.
Oh my
It just
god.
means we can all go together as a team.
All right. So, Korak, as you come charging and you get to the very edge of it, and you can now see there are a number of crates and barrels and boxes and things holding different goods for construction purposes and demolition purposes around you, as well as cages at the ready in case there need to be beasts that are constrained. Unfortunately, they never quite got that far. As you come charging in, you can actually see far perched above this kind of small rock cluster in the middle is one drake, and perched far at the end atop one of these almost ruined pillars is the other. For those of you at home, anytime you have to do flying combat in a D&D setting, one of the best things that you can do is that whenever you purchase a set of Chessex dice or a lot of different types of dice at your local game store, they will actually come with clear plastic boxes. You can actually use those as elevated aerial terrain. So for this drake right here that you see in the middle here, it's actually just sitting atop one of those boxes, and it counts as it being up in the air. There are also elevated terrain things that I'll actually be breaking out a little bit later in case combat gets a little crazy. But for at-home purposes, if you're ever looking for a cheap DIY solution, that is one of the best things that you can actually do for elevated flying terrain. So, since everybody in the party has no idea what they're running into with all their low initiative scores, the drakes are up first.
Oh no.
So,
Are there any Azorius people here?
there are not.
No.
So
So,
it's just
first up,
Lucy.
this drake right here is going to swoop down, and he has 1, 2, 3. Yeah, he can easily get to you. So he is going to fly down, and he is going to try to bite into you,
Oh,
Korak.
boy.
So he is going to attack, and he is going to roll a 9 to hit, which I don't think
14.
hits your... Yeah, definitely does not hit. So you kind of see it, and you almost batted its bottom jaw up with the handle of your axe as it comes in. You're just like, whoa! And like hold it up, and it snaps shut on itself, and it continues... It flies down and flies up top, and it's going to perch actually on top of this cage over here, snarling and screaming down at all of you there.
I have a quick question. So, in the crates, there's things like chains.
Yes, and you can see
Okay.
down along the ground
Yeah,
here
I
that
was
there are
double-checking.
there are chains and things
Okay,
like that.
so
there for
you can use to
subdue.
subdue. Gotcha.
So this one is going to fly in and try to do the same thing to you, but it can only go directly up above you and start like hovering in the air directly above you afterward. So it's going to try to bite at you as well. And that's another 9. So this dice does not get used anymore this evening. Great.
Oh, but that means
so
I lives.
You're great.
I'm
So
golden.
that is going to bring us to Luminatesa. You come charging in at the back of the party.
Fuck.
And
Okay.
you see these 2 Drake beasts come down, swoop in, and snap at Korak and just barely miss.
Okay.
And so you are at the ready.
I have a crossbow, right?
Yes, you do.
Okay, so I want to shoot one of the drakes. I guess this guy, their wing, or because I don't know. No, I'm just gonna shoot at him. Let's just do it.
Great, you're just gonna pin.
Okay,
Okay.
then I'll do the wing. Does that make you better?
I used to have one as a pet.
Oh,
What
my
are you
goodness.
gonna do?
I'm gonna try to knock
Just
him
shoot it?
down. Yeah, just
Great.
want to down it.
Okay, so
Yeah.
go ahead and roll an attack roll.
Okay.
And you're rolling your hand crossbow, so you're gonna add 5 to this roll.
Oh, okay. All right. Jesus Christ. 7. Yay! So my day is working out well. I'm gonna drink more.
Unfortunately, it's not gonna be able to hit. With it being
Shocking.
up
We just all
there,
need new
as
decks,
you
right?
as you go to take a shot at it,
That's
it
kind of a
actually
box of dice.
sees the bolt coming and flattens itself down onto the cage itself, so it just soars overhead and it starts like growling and kind of like moving its head in your direction.
Way too early for this. All right.
Do you wish to do anything else? You still
No.
have movement and a
I'd
bonus
say-
Oh,
action.
I have a movement. I want to get the hell away from them. How do I do that?
Great. So you wanna go this way or like out into
out,
the area?
out
Great.
into the area.
So you can go 5, 10, 15. You were able to get like just over these barrels
Okay.
here.
Okay.
Go ahead. Actually, go ahead and make me a
Oh, no.
acrobatics
Oh
check.
no. Okay.
It's okay.
7
Plus 3,
plus
10.
10.
Yeah,
Cool.
that's easy. These
Okay.
are just like barrels. So you're just able
Oh,
to kind
just
of like
okay.
Vault-
parkour.
Parkour.
So you,
Parkour.
so you
Parkour.
so you parkour over the barrels and just
Okay.
get to the other side of it and
Okay.
are there. You're not hidden or anything, but it does give. Actually, no, you don't have that yet. You don't have the ability to bonus side just yet. So, it's okay.
Rolling your pen.
So that's gonna bring us over
It's gonna do me
to.
better.
That's gonna bring us over to Darrison.
Okay.
Okay. I'm looking around. There is no Azorius people here.
There are
Right.
not.
It is just the Drakes in here,
Yes.
and we need to calm them down.
Yeah.
Okay. I am quickly changing tactics, and
I'm gonna switch that up.
I am going to
Distract them.
pull out my lyre and start plucking a sweet little tune, and hopefully
Is this
help Korak out with a little bit of bardic inspiration.
Beautiful, great.
So you can add that to a ability check, attack, roll, or saving throw. And as my action,
Because that is a bonus action
Yes.
to use Bardic Inspiration. Great.
I am going to. Yeah, I'm going to whisper some very nasty things in Abyssal at this Drake in front of
Oh.
us, and I'm going to use dissonant whispers.
So what are the
They-
what are the things that you actually say to it?
I'm going to say that you've made a grave mistake,
Ooh.
and you should run and hide.
You're going to antagonize them?
It's a Wisdom 13
So they
save.
make a Wisdom saving throw. They got a 16 minus 1, so a 15.
So, okay, so they take half.
I believe, as I say, I believe they still take half damage, but they don't
It's
have
half
to run
damage,
away.
and they
from
don't
it.
have to run away.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really good. That's 13 halved
Half, so that's 6.
psychic damage.
Oh, you
Yeah.
rolled. You you go down or
Roll
up?
down.
Oh,
Right.
down. Okay.
So 6. Yeah. They roll down and you go down.
Oh, okay.
Everybody goes down.
Oh,
Hey.
hey.
So that one is going to take 6 points of damage. And you can see it's kind of like racked, and you see it kind of like fluttering almost erratically as you let out this voice. And all of you around hear him say these words
Okay.
In Abyssal.
in Abyssal. And then like watch as this Drake like starts having this very obvious effect to it, but it kind of like rights itself and it continues floating in the air, now very intent on Darrison.
Okay.
That wasn't nice.
That is going to bring us to both Lucian and Korak. You may choose who goes before. Actually, since you led the charge, I'm going to say that you start.
Okay. On the chains, which one's closer to me? I'm gonna assume that one.
That one is. You would have to go around that rock cluster that you're right next to there.
Okay, would I be able to make it with my regular movement speed?
You should be able to.
Okay.
You can get to like right here and be able to grab it.
Yeah, I would like to do that.
Okay. So we're gonna grab Korak here, who's going to run over and is grabbing onto this set of chains right here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. And I would like to swing it around at the nearest Drake and try to clamp it around. This is a
Lasso
stretch. I'm gonna try to lasso its mouth.
Okay, so you're gonna try to grapple one of the, so we'll
Yes.
say you'll try to grapple this one that's on top
Yeah,
of the cage
the
right
closest
here,
to me.
so that you can use maybe the cage itself to help with that.
Yeah.
So you go and throw this group of chains on top of it. Go ahead and make an athletics check, and it's gonna contest that
And you
against you.
can use inspiration if you need to.
Yeah,
you
you
can
can
do it-
See
you
how
can-
bad my
you can do
roll
it
is first.
After
Uh,
you roll, but before you know the result, right?
Mhm.
Well, it's 13 plus
Athletics.
Yeah, but you don't know the result. You can choose. to use
13
it.
plus
3, which is 16.
16. So you can choose to add that d6 if you want, or you can just call it a 16.
Hold on to it.
I'm gonna hold on to it. I'm gonna go with the 16.
16? Okay. That is enough to grab it.
Okay.
So you latch it on, and so it's not quite like completely restrained. The chains are now wrapped around it, so it can't fly anywhere, but it can still kind of like fight back and try to do
Okay.
stuff. But the chain is currently kind of like caught on the cage and you.
Okay.
So it's trying to fight back as it goes, and it's trying to do so. So you don't have it fully restrained. Next turn, you can spend your action doing it again to completely restrain it.
Yeah.
And at that point, it wouldn't be able to move. It wouldn't be able to do anything at this point, and it'd be stuck.
That's what I would like to do.
Great.
Because I'm
So
trying to
Korak
calm this
has
mind.
lassoed itself a rustly boy with a yeehaw,
Yeah.
and that's going to bring us over to Lucian.
Don't get stabbed, Lucian.
I'm panicking. I'm gonna like scurry behind Thone.
Okay.
For
That's a good idea.
for safety.
That's a fair idea.
Right, so
Um,
we're just going to... Oh, wait. There we go.
yeah.
There we go. So we're going to move you over to the other side.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna wave my staff and cast fog cloud, like right in this area, so obscuring him so he can't see through to us.
Do I need to make a fog?
So you want it to end at him rather than expand out from him?
No,
Since
expand
it is-
out from him. Yeah.
Okay, that is going to cover in the area that you guys are in as well. Is that okay?
No, I want it to
No,
be like sorry.
so, like, up in the air?
here, but like out.
Oh, great.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
so in over. So we'll just say 20 feet from that direction right there.
Okay.
So you guys can see this lovely little cloud right there.
So it's obstructed, only has view.
yes.
Okay.
Oh god.
So it's like up above us.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh, so I can still see, or am
Just
I?
not
Yeah, we can
that
still
one.
see.
Okay,
You're
cool.
like you can't see that thing.
Yeah, no, I was just making sure the.
So we can still see the ground.
Yeah,
and
like the
stuff.
ground.
Oh,
is
yeah, yeah,
visible.
yeah,
We're
okay,
below
yeah.
the fog right
Okay.
now. Nice,
Great.
Nice.
Anything else that we should do?
I cover my face like
Okay.
this.
And also hide
as
behind.
a minor action. Yeah.
Okay. So that's gonna bring us over to Thone.
Okay, so if I choose to handle animal, how do I handle animal?
So you can try to use handle animal to calm a creature down and continue to lower its attitude towards you. Right now, these creatures are aggressive, like
Okay.
massively aggressive. So it would take a couple checks to get them down to the point where they are not actively attacking. But you can certainly try to go ahead and start that process.
I'm gonna steal the idea of chains. So I'll grab the closest one and see if I can
Okay.
try to grapple. the guy
So
down.
you, as Lucian is protecting his eyes, you're able to literally just like reach your arm over and almost completely encompass him and just grab the chains that are on the other side of him.
Excellent.
So you can try to lasso them up and lasso the other one, but it is within the fog cloud, so you would be at disadvantage to try to see where it is. Or you can go assist Korak
That's
with tying
kind
down
of
the
a
other
far
one.
away though. I'm gonna just try it the one in the cloud with disadvantage because
Okay,
it's the
so
closest
you
one. And I can get to.
move on up. We're just gonna kind of
Just push people out of the way.
Out of the
exposed.
way. Come on, big old zone. So first, go ahead and roll me a perception check, just normally, since you normally have advantage on them, but because it is
Okay.
within the fog cloud, it's
Okay.
hard to see.
5.
5. Unfortunately, at this point, you're not able to get a bearing on it. So you have the chain at the ready, but you can't
Okay.
lash out with it at this point.
That's fine.
So I'm just going to put this chain next to you, showing that you have it at the ready for you.
Okay.
So that is going to bring us back to the drakes themselves. So this drake that is currently being grappled by you is going to try to break out of the grapple. So go ahead and make a athletics check, and it is going to do so as well.
Come on, these cards. 15.
Okay. Would you like to use her inspiration?
No.
Okay.
I'm
It-
very picky.
It also rolled a 15, so it is going to break out of it. Since it meet or beat you. But since it is partially grappled, I'm going to say that it kind of like halves its movement so it can't do all the things, and that was its action for the turn. So it is going to attempt to start flying away. And it's going to get about to this rock cluster over here. Which is just outside of the fog cloud.
Okay.
The other one that is within the fog cloud, it last saw a Korak right below it. So it's going to come swooping out of the fog cloud and, oh, that's a giant elephant, not a minotaur man. But it's going to try to bite at you out of the fog cloud.
Who, me? Or-
You.
Okay.
And it rolled a natural 20 on its
Oh.
bite
Oh
attack.
no!
Come on, chomp
I'm
chompers.
sorry.
And the way attack rolls work, right? If it's a 20, you don't even consider AC. It's just an automatic hit.
Correct.
And
Because I'd imagine unless you had an AC that was higher than 20.
I mean, because you can.
like
It's
later
gonna
levels.
deal
Well, yeah, later
8
levels.
points of
And with,
piercing damage to you
Uh-oh.
as it chomps around your neck and clavicle, and these small, razor sharp teeth just sink into you. And as it pulls back, it just almost rakes the skin off of your very thick, leathery
I'm
hide.
not happy
flesh.
about that.
Get ready to burn.
And it is going to, and it's going to soar back. So this fog cloud is still here. I'm just going to leave this as a reference of where it is in the air. But it is going to go back as far as it can to get away from the fog cloud and away from the people that are attacking it.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
right outside of it. 'Cause
Yeah,
it's like a
this is
20
it,
foot,
yeah. Great. So that's going to bring us back to Luminitza.
Well, Luminates is not. What is this help thing I can do? So I can help out Korak, because Korak's next. Well, not next, but before Thone. So what can I do with this help thing?
So you would have to be within range of the creature.
Oh.
So you can run up to one of them
Okay.
and try to act as a distraction. So the next time somebody does something to it,
Okay.
then they have advantage on the thing that they're trying
Okay.
to
I want to
do.
do that then. To whatever I
Okay.
can get to.
You could get to the one that's over here.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. Let's do that one.
So you
then,
can
'cause-
run over 10, 15, 20, 25. So you can get to here,
Yeah.
and then you see it just outside of the fog cloud. So you can
Right.
get there and you can help.
Okay. That's what I want to do.
Great.
Okay.
So you were kind of like down there and you're trying to like get its attention and kind of
Right.
like drive it to you to pay attention to you instead of
Right.
Korak there.
Hey, look, I'm food. Come
Yeah,
on.
basically.
Come and get me.
Because
Great,
this,
so that's
this
gonna-
crossbow is not working for me.
So that'll bring us on over to Darrison.
I am going to pluck a little special chord
Oh
that
my
I came up for Thone, and I'm passing some inspiration onto him as well.
Oh, thank you.
But,
Great. It's very
And-
bassy tones.
This is how I help. And then I'm going to like hunker down with my back against this rock, kind of next to Lucien,
Okay.
and I would like to use minor illusion to create the illusion of a crate around me and hide from these drakes.
Are you Metal Gear Solid stealthing right now?
Yes.
We need the little sound
I'm so
effect.
proud and like impressed, but also judging you.
I'm
Like,
a
at
little
the same
mad because
time.
I was gonna do the
I'm
same.
good.
As a Korak, you were up
I
next.
I will.
Something
I'll also like
Okay.
reach to Lucien. Like get in the
Get it.
crate. Get in the crate.
So the
This is not
drake
our
next to
thing.
me is probably going to be too high for me to try to grapple.
This one, so it's at the same height as the crate, the cage itself.
Oh, okay.
You
cool.
just don't have the cage to help you, but Luminitza is down there distracting
Distract-
it, so you could like throw the chain up and have her grab the other end and try to help you grapple it that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh god, I don't think she.
I will try my damnedest.
Would this be an advantage though?
Since she's helping you,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay. I would like to try to do this again.
Great.
Yeah.
So you go charging through and you're going to throw that chain up. Here, let's grab that since you still had a hold of it there. So go ahead and roll an athletics check at advantage.
Oh, 18. I'm gonna take the 18 plus 3, that's 21.
Okay. Are you using your inspiration?
No, but do I
Cool.
have the ability to use my animal handling after that, or no?
This is just an athletics to hold on to it.
Okay.
This isn't animal
An
handling
action.
to calm it down.
Okay.
This is just like getting a hold of it and stopping it.
Okay.
So this is straight athletics, but you are able to do so. So kind of like helping with the other end thrown over to the maid. So you're able to grab onto it. So at this point it's grappled and held up in these chains, and it's kind of like trying to lash away and pull at you guys.
Am I... Because making sure am I able to try to pull it down?
On your next turn, you will be
Next
able to
turn?
do so. If you
Okay.
succeed, you both pull it down, and you will have restrained it. So at that point, it can't do anything.
Okay,
Okay.
cool. Okay.
So right now it's grappled. It's not yet restrained. But next turn, if you're able to succeed again, it will be restrained.
Okay, so I can't do anything else. Gotcha.
Correct. That'll just bring us over to
Check.
Lucian.
Are you wearing armor?
No.
He's a monkey.
Right,
He's not.
right. I'm just checking. But because you're a monk, do you add
Stone
your
just kinda, like,
dexterity
holds out his
modifier
arms
to your
just like-
AC? Is that how that works?
My AC, usually for a monk, yes, but because of the Loxodon's class, my
Uh-huh.
natural AC combined with, I forget what other bonuses,
It's the
it turned out
Constitution.
higher, basically.
Yeah.
It was a Constitution plus their natural leathery hide is higher than the...
So you're not adding your dex modifier to your AC?
It's
still
Dex
do,
plus
always.
con.
Oh, okay, so
He
this
gets
won't
both,
help. I was
yeah.
gonna cast Mage Armor on him, but I don't think it'll
No.
actually increase his... Okay, I'm gonna like touch myself and cast Mage Armor on myself.
Okay. So the
Alright.
shadows.
I'm gonna touch myself in the middle of this
The
battle.
boys that have
Um,
seen
Stone-
combat are just
We're
like...
gonna
Stone
head back
and
in.
Garrison.
He's 18. He's got, you know, needs.
All right, guys. So
To protect himself,
So
of course.
Thone and Darrison, you guys watch as this shadowy armor starts coalescing over Lucian's body and starts hardening around it. And you can see these little wisps of smoke still coming off of it, but it looks very real. And it almost has like this kind of like force that continues to hold things off around it. That is your action. Do you wish to move?
Yeah, I'm gonna take like a really deep breath and be like, "You can do this." I'm gonna like run up and try to like antagonize this Drake to get his attention.
Oh, boy.
Okay, in order to get there, you'd have to go completely around this way, or you'd have to jump over some boxes.
Let's not try jumping over the boxes. I don't think that would end well for me.
So you can get to here with
Yeah,
your
that
movement
works. And then I'm like waving my arms and my staff.
Okay,
like-
great.
Hey, you big meanie, come get me.
Lucian, don't get stabbed.
Lucian is doing his best to try to believe that he is those big, scary men in all the stories that he's read and all the things that he's heard.
I just don't want to.
But I
just
don't
gonna-
think he's ever actually heard what they say.
Yeah.
That's great.
Big
Luminates
meanie.
it. Don't
Thone,
worry about
you are
the
up.
Drake.
Okay.
So let's try for another grapple.
Great. So you were
this
gonna
grapple.
go lumbering past you, big meanie. So you're gonna go lumbering past him there. Go ahead and roll an athletics check for me.
Okay, have a proficiency in that.
Oh shit.
That is a 19 plus proficiencies 2
Yeah.
plus saving throws 22.
Wow.
I'm so glad Thone's on our team.
I'm proud of you because they rolled a 19 and you still got them.
Oh,
Dang.
So he sees this huge elephant man come lumbering, and you see him almost like turn and start to dart away, and this chain lashes up and wraps around his tail and just grabs onto him, and he's like pulling at it and trying to get away, but you have him grappled.
I can just
by
imagine this
chain.
poor Drake
Excellent.
like going, eh.
So that is going to bring us to the Drakes. This one is very, very angry. And this is the one that got a bite of you. So he's actually going to try to bite at you again,
course he
even
is.
though he's held in the chain. So he's not going to try to break out of the chain.
Oh,
He's just going to, you know,
He don't
take
give.
care of the person who's holding the chain.
Let's see
Give him
how
a
this works.
Well, 5 definitely doesn't hit you. So you're able to kind of like, as he's trying to get down at you, you're able to continue pulling the chain in different directions and like keep him off base. So he's like, and he just like keeps getting like pulled away from it. This one is going to try to break out of the chain because he is the one that is. Oh no, this is the one that's injured. That's why he's fighting for his life. This one's still fine. So he's going to try to break away. So go ahead and roll another athletics check.
Is it an advantage?
No, but you'll get to add your modifier to it since you're
19.
holding on as well.
Oh, okay. And my
So plus 1.
plus 1.
20.
20? Oh yeah, you still hold on strong.
Okay.
So he is not able to break away. And he's just kind of like held there right now. So that's going to bring us to Luminita.
I'm still helping. What can I do?
You can continue
Oh,
helping,
I'm
which
gonna
would grant advantage to Korak to restrain it and like bring it down to the ground and
I
tie
want
it
to do
up.
that.
Great.
So she like grabs onto the chain.
Yeah.
I
she's-
just imagine this tiny
That
little
tiny little
human
one.
holding onto this chain.
You have a hold of it, and as it's trying to struggle, it almost like pulls you up a few times.
Yeah.
And so you get the idea, like as you are getting ready, and you know Korak's going to be coming up soon. You kind of like bend down, jump up, and grab onto the chain as far up as you can, and just let gravity try to like
Oh, nice.
makes me
compensate
think
for
of,
your.
you're
you're
Yeah,
just like,
yeah.
"Huh!" All right, so that is going to bring us on over to Darrison, who is hiding,
in a
who is
crate.
metal gearing in his crate.
I would like to peek out back where the rest of them are. Is anyone else like coming, or did they just leave and like are there like law mages?
Back that
or
way.
other
Go ahead and
guards
make a
coming?
perception check for me.
That's 17.
So as you're looking there, you can see the two Selesnyan guards. The one that was there with the original Dryad, and the one that drug the injured Dryad out from this grove. Both of them are like standing there, spears at the ready, like crossed, holding off this area. And you can see the Dryad woman in front of them with like hands out, ready to protect this like glen.
So they're just like standing guard at the door.
Yeah. They're like, no, don't even try it.
Okay,
Unless you want to die.
I am going to.
Pop back in your crate.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna hunker down here. I want to see.
I know none of you can see this, but it literally is just like a head emerging from a side of a crate and going right back
Just
into it.
like,
Just a little peek.
Oh my god.
I will. I don't know that I can. Can I use any sort of illusion? I guess I can't really do anything to help right now, guys. I will just monitor the situation.
As a crate, yeah.
I'll
Okay.
actually. No, I'm just gonna stay here. I'm gonna stay here.
Okay, great. So Darrison hunkers
out.
back down in. So that's going to bring us over to Korak.
I'm gonna try to pull him down and restrain him.
Great, and
Yeah.
you are being helped by Luminita, so you
Yeah.
get full advantage on this one.
And I want to use my inspiration
Ooh.
dice.
I'm sick of holding this
Oh,
thing.
needs it.
Oh.
11.
So you get advantage, so
Yeah,
roll
advantage,
again.
roll twice.
Oh yeah. And that's adding my strength, right? Or no?
Yeah, so we'll
11.
stick with the 11, plus 3,
Which is 14.
14. You're adding inspiration.
4.
So 18.
Good job.
Oh,
that's why I was like,
I'm
ooh,
glad I did that.
glad you
then.
said you were using inspiration. You almost lose catch of it, but using the inspirational magic that Darrison has
Plus
given
whatever.
you reach up and grab one more time and just and like muscle it down, and this Drake's body just collapses to the ground, and just like a regular old like rodeo person, you start wrapping that chain around its wings to keep it down and keep it restrained. So next turn, if you want to start like calming it down and chilling it, then you can start using animal
Yeah,
handling.
that-
But at
that's
this
probably
point,
what
it
I'm
is
doing.
restrained, so it cannot do anything. And I would say since it's down on the ground, that it wouldn't really be able to attack at you guys.
Okay.
It can try to, but it's going to be at disadvantage because it's down on the ground. It's having to like.
Yeah, and
It
I'm
has, like,
gonna,
Korak on
and
top
through
of
all
it.
of it, I'm gonna scream, I've got one down, but try to not kill the other while I try to handle this one.
So I'm offended that this Drake didn't deem me important enough to attack.
Oh my god.
I can't believe it. Like, what else can I do? Like, that was a lot of courage. I had to muster a lot of courage
Not
to do that.
everyone knows you're a
Um,
Zaxos, man.
How does the Drake not know? I take out this handbell that's got the Orzhov signal on it, And I start chiming it, and in the distance you can hear the deep tones of like one of those like tower church bells just donging and ringing, and he has to make a wisdom save.
Come on, bells of Notre Dame. So this one, the one that's not restrained or whatever, has to do so? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it rolled a 2.
Okay, so he fails, and he takes he takes 1d12. Wait, he's taking damage, right? That's
Yes,
taking damage.
this
Yeah, he
is the
takes
one that's
1d12
taking
necrotic damage.
Don't kill me.
I'm gonna be upset.
So 9 damage total.
9.
Yes, 4 plus 5.
That's
Yeah.
You watch as it rings out, and you can now see, Thone, you can see, like, dark blood start to, like, drip from its ears and from, like, the corners of its mouth. And it's weakly holding itself in the air, even restrained by your chain. And it is looking rough. It's looking rough.
Okay.
And that brings us over. Do you wish to move at all?
No.
You're fine where you are.
No.
Okay, great.
Actually, I'm gonna move backwards a little bit.
Okay.
This way. Yeah. Do that.
Okay, you're gonna go check back in with
Yeah,
The
I need to make
Box
sure
Garrison?
Darrison's doing all right. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the buddy's gotta make sure
Yeah.
they.
Thone, we're on over to you.
Well, hopefully
Boxes looking
this means
sturdy.
I can cement a grapple.
There you
So
go.
I'm gonna try to just stop him from moving altogether.
Great. So go ahead and make another athletics check.
Proficiency on that.
You have
Okay.
inspiration.
That's gonna be what 5, 6, 7, 8. Definitely adding this to it. 11.
11. It's not enough to
Ugh.
fully get in. It's still wrapped up in the chain, so it is still grappled, but it's not fully restrained. It's actively fighting you at this point. It's fearing for its life at this point. So its turn is up, and it is going to try to get out of this. So go ahead and roll an athletics check as it's trying to break away from you.
9, 12.
12, it also rolled a 12, so it's just enough. So it gets out and is going to attempt to fly back up over here on top of these runes and try to get away. That's going to bring us over to Luminitza.
So this guy is restrained by
Yeah.
Korak,
Mm-hmm.
and I can go help Thone, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go help Thone.
Great. So you kind of like drop where you're at and you go running over here,
Yeah.
and you're able to get over here and are trying to like
Distracted.
keep what? Okay, great. So you're
Yeah.
gonna also help there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, that's gonna bring us over to Box Darrison.
Um,
Darrison LaBox.
Darrison LeBox.
we
I
have
fucking love that.
this one. That's flying off. Is it like trying to flee, or is it just like roosting up there?
It's trying to like protect itself at this.
Okay,
point.
but it's like hunkered down. It's not trying to run away.
It's trying to get as far away from these people who are attacking it as possible.
I will come out of the box.
Oh my god.
I'm coming out of my box.
Out of the box, and that's all we can sing.
Thank
Thank you, copyright.
I'll come about over here. I'm actually gonna come over and see if I can help Korak calm the beast, and throw my last bit of bardic inspiration to Thone again to help him with the other one.
Okay, great.
That's my bonus action, and
So are you like playing music, trying to like calm the beast and
Like
yeah,
Harry
I'll play
Potter.
some calming
Inspiration over
music
to them.
and
Like Harry Potter with the Fluffy.
Yes.
yeah, play some really beautiful lyre music and try to
Love it.
ease its worries.
I'm about it. That's gonna bring us over to Korak.
Not that it matters, but am I able to tell the gender of it offhand?
Make a nature check.
If I can remember, if I am proficient in it, but I have a minus. Oh, that sucks. 12.
12.
Oh.
This is a female drake.
Okay. I would actually like to try and calm it down with my animal handling.
Great. Go ahead and roll. Since Darrison is helping you, go ahead and roll at advantage as you try to soothe this beast.
15. Yeah. 15 plus 2 because I'm proficient in it. So 17. And
So
I'm gonna, like, easy. We're not here to fight you. Just kind of, like, calm it down as
Okay.
much as I can.
You can see it is still actively trying to like nudge its way out of the chains that are tightly wrapped around its wings, but it is not trying to like bite at you at this point. It's still like it's trying to maneuver, but at this point it's not snapping anymore as you do so.
Yeah, it's just trying to flee.
But you've calmed it down somewhat.
Cool.
So it's going to bring us over to Lucian.
What I can do at this point, like
Don't
I
kill
can't,
the Drake.
I can't subdue a Drake. Can I help Thone? I assume he's gonna try to grapple it again.
You can go over and lend aid if you wish.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
I just imagine these two humans. Like,
Yeah.
I'm a nice, tasty snack. Come
So you could use all of your movement to get within an area where you could do so,
Okay.
and then next turn you'd be able to help it.
Okay, I'll do that.
Okay, great. That's gonna bring us over to Thone.
Can I reach it?
Yeah, you are plenty tall.
Yeah.
These pillars are maybe like 9 or 10 feet tall, and it's kind of like hunkered down on top of one of them.
Thone is
I
like-
kind of want to see if I can just knock it out, because you said we can just like knock it unconscious if we get it down to low enough health physically.
Yeah, great.
All right.
Cool.
Go ahead and roll
Yes.
an attack roll and just punch it.
And he has an advantage. 'cause
Punch
of
a
how
Drake,
the-
yeah.
Just do it.
Punch a Drake.
All right. 15.
And you do get to roll twice and take the higher.
Oh, for advantage. All right. Well, 15.
15
Plus-
plus
What is
3.
it for to attack?
Yeah,
Yes.
so it'd be plus 3.
For
Plus
which
three.
one?
Strength or dex, both of them are the same.
Okay.
And then your proficiency.
So plus 3 total would be 18. Yeah, you definitely hit it.
Okay.
And it is only at 1 measly hit point. So you were easily able to just kind of like
Wow.
grab.
Boy.
No, I know.
Almost killed it.
That's why I was like,
Oops.
Oops.
My
You're
bad.
rolling a d12 of damage against Matt. Like, great. Awesome.
My bad, guys.
All right. Toll the Dead is what the name of that spell was, not Toll the Subdual. So you were able to grab the Drake, basically almost kind of like a cat, like you grab it by the scruff around the back. You
Oh
kind
my
of like
goodness.
grab it and just drag it along the pillar and just kind of like stop it into the ground and just kind of like falls up. It's still breathing, but it just limply lies there, and it
It's
is
very
unconscious.
injured.
Excellent.
So with that, everything kind of like calms to a halt. You have this one over here. You have this one completely unconscious. If you wish, Korak, at this point you can continue trying to calm it down
Yes.
fully, so it tries to
Can I come over and help him?
come out of it. Yeah, go ahead. So
Yeah.
go ahead and
Yeah.
make another animal handling check at advantage.
12 plus 2 because I'm proficient, so 14.
14. It does eventually kind of like calm. It still looks very wary as it's kind of like tightly bound in these, but it's not trying to move. It's not trying to.
I'm gonna try to like. I'm assuming is it snout
It's-
secured
yeah.
or is it still able to bite or is it?
It is stable, but it's not trying to.
Yeah, I'm gonna run my hand along its snout and try, or my hands, and as I'm calming it down,
Okay.
just like connect with this beast.
Okay. Continue easing it that way through.
Yeah.
Thone is able to kind of like pick up with 2 hands, and these are probably, now that you can like kind of fully see these creatures, from tip of the nose to tail, they're probably like as tall as a human.
So they're juveniles.
Yeah, these are not like great drakes
Okay.
in any way, but these are still definitely sizable creatures. And the as seen with Thone's chest and clavicle, they're definitely able to deal some good damage as they bite into people. But Thone's able to bring over this unconscious one in his hands, as you all watch as Korak is trying to soothe this beast.
Does this normally happen?
Does what normally happen?
Drake attacks in
I don't go
Selesnya
into
territory?
Drake areas. There's areas where just there are creatures here that have their own space, and you don't go in there. We don't belong here. This isn't where we live.
This is Drake territory?
This is the Drake nesting area. Yes.
Oh.
Selesnyans don't go in here, and the Azorius are the ones that stirred these up.
You heard outside the dryad that was within the area. This is her grove to look over, and she is directly responsible for its upkeep. So she makes sure that nobody disrupts the drakes that are within here. But of course, the Azorius did not care about such things,
Can I?
and pressed forward and started dismantling things, and obviously disrupted them.
Now that things have calmed down a bit, you said these crates and barrels were full of like construction materials and stuff. Can I go about and
Don't shoot the red ones.
sabotage it?
Destroy!
Like try to break it up and throw sugar in the concrete or whatever?
What toolkit proficiencies do you have? I will ask that
Tools?
question. Yeah.
4 different instruments. I don't use. These are my tools.
Great.
Tools of the trade.
I will allow you to make a intelligence check
burn them
at
if I have to.
disadvantage. To see if you like can think of ways to like properly disrupt them.
Just straight intelligence.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a 1. So.
Okay. Looking them over, none of the things that you like have on hand would be enough to like actively disrupt what's.
Is it like? Is it wood? Is it flammable?
None of these items are. Like, there are, like, things of explosive powder that
They're
can be,
explosive.
like... So, like, those technically would be flammable.
Oh, boy.
Of course, it would
Let's
also make
bring
an
them into
explosion.
that building with all
And
of
then
the
there are
bombs.
also, like, chisels and, like, items to be able to, like, carve away and, like, pull away stone work. Essentially, a lot of the items here are like lots of stoneworking type tools to be able to pull away all these like big rock clusters that you've seen and the ruined pillars that are far behind. Because the rest of it they can easily get rid of.
Can I collect some of the explosive powder for myself for personal reasons?
For personal reasons.
Do you have any empty containers?
I don't know. I have a backpack.
I'll say this. I'll say you probably have like an empty pouch or something that you usually use for coins to collect tips and things.
Yeah.
So I'll say that you can collect like 1 pouch's worth of explosive powder. How about that?
Yeah.
You could put
And
it in.
then I'll-
You could put it in your lyre. Just fill up the.
Just
If I loot,
next
if I
time.
loot stuff it in
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stuff in the.
Next time, do a massive just
the loot,
song
yeah,
and
yeah.
explodes
God.
from the.
That's
the
so
And
right.
I'm just gonna go around and
really
dirty it all up. Try to soil the tools if I can make them rust or anything with
What?
prestidigitation.
I mean, these barrels don't belong
wanna
there.
make
So
this
we
up.
should
I'm
take them all
trying to-
out.
I'm trying to ruin their.
Okay,
Efforts
so
to
you,
build
like
anything.
you kind of like kick some dirt up on it and use prestidigitation to like make it look a little bit more dirty than it actually is.
Darrison, what are you doing? Why are you kicking dirt on things?
I'm trying to. Look, I don't know much about dragons. Okay, I'm just trying to
So you're
mess
kicking
things up.
Stop kicking dirt on things. Stop it. This is not helping.
It's called sabotage, Luminitsa.
This is
the
sabotage?
Azorius are trying
Dirt
to
isn't-
construct a prison, if you haven't heard.
So
So,
dirt-
I'm
okay.
trying to
So
interrupt the proceedings or just kick another
Oh,
crate
We're
over
gonna have a
just kinda,
conversation.
and just kind of just walk over and like just
We're gonna have a conversation about sabotage later because this is doing nothing.
Wait.
You're just making things a little dirtier.
Did you just say you just like kicked the crate over? Like it's just you just flipped it. Like
Yeah.
that's it. That's your okay.
Grr,
That's just
just
sabotage.
kind of
Okay.
I'm just gonna kind of
Wildly inconvenience the Azorius.
After getting called out on it, he's not really like focused too much on what he's doing there.
Okay, so yeah.
What up?
Stop.
Real quick, what other like cantrips or things do you have? Like there might be some things
I
that we
have
can kind of work with.
prestidigitation and minor illusion.
What are some other spells that you might have?
Charm person, dissonant whispers, cure winds, and silent image.
Okay.
It's all
None of
illusion.
those are
Never
sabotage.
mind. Never mind.
I'm a
None of them-
magician.
none of them, like you could cure the thing. No, never mind. It's fine.
I'm a magician.
Yeah.
Stop kicking
okay.
up dirt. Just stop doing it. Stop. Okay, so now what? Now that I got him to stop kicking up dirt.
We carry the barrels into the Thopter facility and blow it up.
Ooh, this is interesting. I like this. I don't know if that's the right idea, but I'm liking your thought process on this.
How did the peaceful Selesnya come up with like this big sabotage plan?
Oh, I'm excited.
There
And
are
the most person
Azorius.
who would
He's
rather
very upset
here.
about the Azorius, and I understand why.
I should continue. There is like that explosive powder. Like there is still like more of it. So if you wanted to stage some type of explosion, you could, with
long as
the
you
rest
don't
of the
kick dirt
tools and
into it.
things.
I mean, I don't want to like. I don't want to
Stop the drakes and
destroy
all.
this place,
It
but
just was mildly inconvenient.
yeah.
You could also just stage it with the threat of doing so.
If we did blow
So
up all
you
their powder, there
could
wouldn't be any left.
stage all of the equipment
So-
there
That is
coded
true.
in
Start.
the
That is a
explosive
start.
stuff, and have the threat of blowing it, if you wish.
Um,
I'm not trying to actually blow anything up. There's no one antagonizing us right now.
Got it.
We're just trying to calm the drakes.
What are the other toolkit proficiencies that anybody else has?
I
I have herbalism.
Stoneworker.
or herbalism.
I have thieves' tools and poison.
You have proficiency in stoneworkers? Okay. So you would actually know how these devices work. So you could actually help Darrison with this potential sabotage plan to actually affect these tools. So you could purposefully mess up the tools themselves.
I'm just
Oh
over
yeah,
here-
I'll mess up all the tools.
I'm banging
that's
them
fine.
on rocks. I mean,
Great. So both of you can make intelligence checks, or one of you can make it at advantage in an attempt to try to like sabotage.
Do you
these
have a high
things.
intelligence?
I'm passing it over to you.
Because I've got a minus
Oh boy.
intelligence. So,
Same.
but
But
I
you
have
do get to-
proficiency in stoneworking.
You
so
do,
that
yeah,
does something,
I was gonna
right?
say. So you do get to make it at advantage, and you'll get to add your
Okay.
proficiency in stoneworking
I
tools,
see.
since you're using it like in.
17.
Oh, so it'd be 16 plus 2, so 18. Oh yeah, but between the two of you, you're pretty easily able to dismantle probably about half of the tools here, to make them unusable. The others either like aren't readily able to be disused, but after Darrison kind of like takes a minute to explain like what he's trying to do here, you're easily able to take out like a good like both of these barrels worth of it. Actually, the barrels would.
Can I just carry a barrel of gunpowder under each hand, or explosives, or whatever it is? Let's
Yeah.
just carry it into the.
But all
building
the
right next
crates
door.
of supplies you would easily be able to
I'm-
take out with that.
I'm very excited to go into the little facility with a barrel of explosives under each arm.
I would like
Just,
to turn around so I have deniability in this situation.
Great.
I do
Oh.
not see this happening.
So, where did Thone leave the other Drake?
He had it in his hand.
So he's
Okay, so where
Oh,
is
can we
it
put it in the
though?
cage?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Let's do that. That sounds like
Okay.
a good idea.
I'm gonna
You
while
do one in
I'm
the cage?
suiting this one, I'm gonna turn around and go, no,
no on what?
No, what?
we're not doing anything to these animals.
No. This is to
No.
the shop. The the
We're gonna go into the Thopter shop
Correct,
and blow it
referring
up.
But-
to putting it in the cage.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
he was gonna
Oh.
put the Drake in the cage. That's why
Okay.
I'm
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
I'm stopping him.
I'm just on this
No,
explosion thing.
you, as somebody from Selesnya, you would think you'd have more compassion for animals.
We need to stop them from killing people right now.
They're angry because the Azorius came in here. That's
Oh, I know.
not my fault.
Oh, I know.
And I can handle these beasts. You can do whatever you want, but you're not putting in a cage.
At this point, you can watch the dryad woman who was at the very front, kind of like holding the fort. Now that everything's kind of calmed down, you can see her kind of like peeking through, and she kind of like works her way past the two Selesnian guards and comes up to you all and kind of like sees this and is like, "Thank you all so much." And she sees the destroyed tools that Darrison and Thone have been working on. It's just like,
It was quite a scuffle.
did you all do this as well? Did you...
Oh no, these drakes were all over the place. They just totally wrecked the shop.
I'm just gonna say yeah.
Make a deception check at advantage. It's like, no, what are you talking about? Wait a minute.
Oh, that's
Come on, natural 20!
Yay!
She's just like, my word, they must have been rampaging far worse than we could have even imagined. Thank you all so much for taking care of these people. you don't mind, my sister is usually the one in charge of these beasts, but I can see to calming them down and keeping them restrained in less, she kind of like turns and looks at the cages, she's like, less barbaric manners.
Yes, I've already got this one calmed as much as I can. Sorry, I had to.
You actually see her kind of like put one hand on each of the beasts, one on the one that Thone has and one on the one that you have. And it's almost like her fingertips almost continue past as vines and wrap around the heads of each of these creatures, and you see this green energy begin to like pour into both of them, and you see their breathing almost fall in line with hers, and it starts to slow and ease, and you can see them all breathing in unison, all three of them, and slowly her hands retract back into her normal human-esque hands, of this kind of like beautiful green that this light green skin that flows into the dark, bright, vibrant green of her leaf-like hair. And she says, "These beasts are now attuned to me, and they are calm and sedated for the moment. If you would please, you can remove the chains from that one."
Yeah, that's what I was gonna do next. Now I'm gonna remove the chains very delicately from my strong, massive self. Just ease off and run my hand along its neck before I pull away completely.
So you watch as the one that's unconscious, she takes from you, Thone, and she kind of like just cradles it and holds onto it, and the other one she kind of like holds aloft, and it's just kind of like floating and like holding itself aloft next to her. She says, "Thank you all so much for doing what you could." She looks at Thone, who is very, very injured, and holds her hand up to you, and she's going to... she's going to heal you for 7 points of damage.
Yes.
As some of the scratches and the bite marks continue to close over and heal. She says, I'm very sorry for any damage that they have done to you. I would say I'm very sorry for any damage they have done to this. And she kind of like looks down at all of the dismantled tools that you guys have been working on. She's like, but if I'm being very honest, I'm not very sorry they were damaged in this way. She kind of looks over and like almost does like a half kick to the cage next to her. She's like, it totally did that.
Can I look outside? Are there any Azorius people still around? Or have they kind of jumped ship?
You see at this point, he keeps being blocked. And you see that the two Selesnya guards basically playing keep away with the Azorius functionary that was talking to her in the first place. But you don't see any guards at it's this almost like this little like cliffside walkway that was like 10 or so feet long that you guys walked in to get here.
So that is the one Azorius person. I'm gonna like. What am I gonna do?
Oh boy.
I'm gonna like minor illusion a little like very official looking clipboard. With with an Azorius symbol on it. And
okay. I'd say you'd be able to do that. You probably wouldn't be able to have like any like written words.
No,
on
I'm
the
just
paper.
holding on a clipboard and I'm gonna walk out and I'm just gonna be waving it around wildly. Oh boy, and I'm gonna direct this at the Azorius person. You guys are in a lot of trouble. Oh boy. I mean, infringing on a natural drake habitat, destruction of protected masonry. I mean, we've got so many policies and oh boy,
So many policies.
you guys.
2759-F. So go ahead and roll a deception check.
While he's doing that, can I start breaking cages?
It's a 9.
A 9. You're breaking the
I want to
cages.
smash these cages.
Great. Go ahead and roll a strength check.
Oh, okay. 7.
unfortunately, these are pretty well made as of themselves.
They're
So
pretty
even
nice.
like even when you like punch it and like try to rip into it, it's even with your strength, it's equivalent to what you saw the Dryad do. Like they are very well made and very
Okay.
Made for drakes.
Wow.
As you say this, you see the Azorius functionary like back off of the two, and he's like, "No, I swear, hold on." And you see him like reach down, and he starts like grabbing through a book. He's like, "I looked through every single rule. We did not have any of these things. What are you talking about? Writ 27 fit in? No. I
Let
don't
me see that."
Understand? It's like, so no, I'm so sorry. What?
I'll show you where it is. I'll show you. It's
So you just like snatch the book out of his hands and start like flipping through it. What are the rest of you doing?
I'm gobsmacked. I'm like, it's working. This is working. This Charlotte. Okay, I don't know. Where are we? What is happening?
I didn't get hit.
I'm taking
Oh,
a barrel of explosives under each arm
I'm
and
gonna-
walking out.
Yeah, Thon's leaving with explosives. Darrison's doing Darrison. Lucian's alive. I guess that's good. And then never mind.
Yes.
Can I pocket this chain? Because I kind
Oh
of
my
think it could be
God.
You can wrap it around you.
Oh,
Like you
that
probably be able to
sounds
wrap
great.
it around
Taking
him.
everything.
You have a chain.
Right.
is looting.
I need a chain.
Correct. I'm also gonna say that you can hold on to the like after taking it off of it. Both of you can have a 10-foot length of chain.
Excellent.
Cool.
I'm
I'll add that to
so
my bag.
confused. Thon is looting and about to blow up a building. Where am I? What time is this? What's happening?
You're in Selesnya territory and there's non-Selesnians here. Thon's not happy.
Oh, that's wrong.
I mean, this terrifies me. You know this man, and I
Normally he isn't this angry. Angry? Is that the word?
he's
I'm
like,
not angry. I'm just...
that's worse.
He's not mad. He's just
Displeased.
disappointed.
I'm just used to sparring with this man. I don't know what he's doing other than being a
You see,
Selesnyan.
Thone is an alleged eco-terrorist.
Alleged.
Alleged
I think you
eco-terrorist.
kind of nailed it.
Yeah.
Pretty good description.
I love
And
that.
I've never seen him engage in any acts of eco-terrorism. The Azorius say that he's done it in the past, but they couldn't prove it in court.
Sometimes his peaceful protests aren't as peaceful.
The act of eco-terrorism is against the environment. These people are trying to destroy Selesnyan property.
They're the eco-terrorists.
Tristani has decreed this area as sacred, and we are not to disturb it.
As far as I can tell, the most he's ever done is try to intimidate people who might not see eye to eye with him on the preservation of nature.
I mean,
Today, we're
I
intimidating
can
people with
attest to
explosives.
this.
I don't. This is illuminating.
Best lines I've ever heard.
So I'm at a loss because I thought today would start out with us doing, investigative, intelligent work, that
Really?
Kind of, yeah,
You really thought that of this merry band of misfits.
At this point, Darrison, you have flabbergasted this man and this functionary, and he has no idea what to make of things. He has gone back and he started conversing with
God.
the Azorius arresters and the mages there who are maintaining the barriers. They have no idea what is going on whatsoever.
I definitely took his book though.
Oh, yeah, no. You have, so now in your inventory, right, that you have an Azorius Book of Law now.
That's great, actually. That'll
It
help.
is a 3rd edition, and it covers Azorius laws 2500 to 2746-F.
Oh my god.
Those are the ones that it covers.
Oh my sweet Jesus.
I don't.
I am.
God, I love making shit up at the top of my head.
That's the great
I
thing
am,
about being a DM.
So he went off to like converse with the.
Yeah,
Other people.
he's now distracted with the rest of the Azorius.
Oh, absolutely.
So now the rest of you are kind of like right there with Darrison.
And Thone is about to blow up a building, correct?
He just has the barrels under his arm.
And
No
there's
idea what I'm
Um,
doing with these barrels.
Well,
Can I
okay.
address the Selesnyan guards they're still there, right?
Yeah. They
Yeah,
let all of you guys through as you were walking out with the dryad.
Barrels of explosives.
And she as she continues walking out, she looks at all of you and says, "Thank you all so much for your help. My name is Dynia, if there is anything that I can do to assist you, DAINYA, as all of you are writing. She says, if there is anything that I or the rest of the conclave can do to assist you, please let us know. You all have done a favor to us today and have shown that community truly is greater than the thoughts of the individual. And she continues to shoot daggers over to the Azorius. She says, I will speak praises of you, Thone, to your family.
It's an honor to serve Selesnya and Tristani.
She kind of like gives a bit of a bow and gives a wave of her hand, and you watch some of the leaves from her hair almost kind of like, it looks like they flow off and into the wind, and they almost make the Selesnya guild symbol in the air above her hand. And she gives a little bit of a bow.
I would like to ask her, this building with this lady, do you know anything about this? Any inkling?
Unfortunately, due to the nature that she herself has abided by all of the neighborhood's agreed upon rules, despite Azorius putting their efforts in. We do not hinder her goings on, and she does not act against any of our wishes.
But do you know anything about her other than this thing with the Azorius?
Unfortunately, we do not. She has been here before that, and has been working on her own then. But as she continued to be contracted out by the Azorius, since then they have since built up these. And she kind of like hard swallows. She says, walls. She points to the walls of the building in the far corner.
I can break those down if you like.
I have these
She
explosions.
kind of she chuckles for a minute. She says, that is a little much, please. But I'm not going to say keep them on hand, but keep them on hand. She says, I do thank you, but at this point we do not wish to anger the Azorius any further than we already have. We have been able to, at least for the time being, rightfully claim this area as ours. Let's not press ourselves further.
Is there some place where you'd like me to place these barrels of explosives, just, in case they might accidentally go off at some point?
She says, well, I would greatly prefer it being near no area of nature, of course, but beyond that, we don't have any use for them.
No, I figured we didn't have use for that building either, but I'll respect your wishes and simply place them nearby in case anyone might have use.
She says, thank you.
Can I address the Selesnyan guards outside?
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to tell them, now, I don't have any time for this incompetent law mage here that whoever said that it was
I
okay
assume
to
you're
do
saying
anything.
all of this very loudly to the point where the Azorius can hear.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, of course.
But I
Right.
need you to let them know that they are in breach of 4 different bylaws on protected and sacred territories, that their permits are extremely out of date and outside of their own jurisdiction. And if they have any problems, they can report to my direct superior, Leonesius, charge right into his office, and his office hours are always open. You can speak to him directly. He will tell you exactly what has gone incredibly wrong, and I expect this place to be handed over fully to the Selesnyans for them to repair and recover, and for these drakes to be taken care of.
At this point, one of them is very able to maintain a very stern-looking face as you're doing this. And one of them, just like me, is starting to... I know you all... I know that the camera is still placed on the map because this is where we are at. But I want you all to know that I'm flailing miserably at this because this is the funniest shit ever. One of them, just like me, is losing his goddamn mind. And is trying not to do it. And the other one is just nudging him in the side with the spear. I do see the one that's keeping it together goes, absolutely, sir. On your way.
And,
vague gesture away from the grove.
Yeah, no, I'm marching off in a huff.
Have you been teaching Darrison? I'm so proud of him. He said so many things like bylaws and writs and things.
I flipped through the book and grabbed some keywords.
I guess I follow Darrison because I am way out of my element. I have no clue what's going on. Yeah. So I'm just gonna follow Darrison.
Well, I was gonna say before, whatever, are we still gonna invest in this woman, or are we done here? Are we gonna? He want to go talk to some goblin.
I'm dropping these barrels off next to the building and leaving them there in case something happens.
Up next to her building?
Yeah.
Go ahead and roll me a perception check.
Perception.
Oh.
Oh god, it's so hard not to laugh so
Okay, I
hard.
have an advantage on that.
Mhm.
So 15 plus 14.
14. So as you drop the barrels next to her building, you look in and you don't see her anywhere inside.
Oh, she's already gone.
Go boom.
Oh no. So Thone is Are you actively?
I don't know.
Okay.
I was actually just going to like place barrels next to a building, but they do kind of need to be disposed of. But I don't want to be near
Do
where
they?
they are.
So
They do need to be disposed of. These
Do
are
you,
not
do you
part of
convey to
Selesnya's
the
area.
rest of the group that she is not inside?
Yeah, I'm gonna motion and say, hey, this building's empty, and these barrels need to be detonated safely.
Is there a
I think
Okay. Sorry. Go.
we maybe go have a look around.
That's what I'm saying. Is there a back door that we can or?
They,
Oh,
there's
there's a
nothing.
crowd.
There's
This
just
is
there's just the
Selesnya.
crowd.
I
It's
forgot.
wide open.
Nobody
It's just-
cares. Okay, let's just walk into the door. I don't have to pull out my lock
Take
ticket.
the
I'm just
Lucian
gonna stand
sneaking approach.
outside
I'll
for
just
the
hide-
time being.
And I'll hide all the barrels in the building
I'm
because it's
okay
more
with that.
convenient.
Okay, so
agree.
Korak is going to keep a watch outside.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Are
gonna
the
go.
rest of the four of you going inside?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Okay.
So as you lead the charge, go ahead and make a investigation check. I'll say it advantage since other people are with you and looking around as well.
Okay. 14 plus. What'd you say?
Investigation.
That's
So plus 1 plus 2.
2. So 3.
15,
17.
17. So as you look around, one of the first things that you notice is the device that she was working on is no longer in its little corral position.
Mm-hmm.
And the 3 lens devices that were sitting over on the counter are also missing.
Okay. Okay.
As you round the corner,
Mhm.
looking at this, Thone, you're back near the front of the building. Go ahead and roll me another perception check at advantage.
Oof. Perception
You do have
is-
bardic inspiration.
Oh, yeah, you do. You do.
Do I still have that? I thought
Yeah.
it was battle only.
No,
It
it
lasts
lasts
for-
for a little bit.
Okay.
We'll say
10
in that
minutes.
case-
It lasts for 10 minutes.
10 minutes,
So
yeah.
it's probably.
All right. So that would be 8 plus 6, 14.
14.
Mhm.
You, as you walk in, whereas before your trunk picked up scents of metal and iron, things like that, you pick up almost this coppery scent, and it takes you a minute to recognize, and you start cluing in, and this is the smell of blood. And as you round the corner,
Yeah.
you see gashed clear across the neck and completely in this puddle of blood.
Mm-hmm.
You see Zloval there, crumpled to the
Okay.
ground. And on top of her, there is a little bit of parchment
Okay.
lying on her body, almost like having a little bit of blood
Okay.
on it.
Okay. So I found the woman. I'm gonna grab that parchment though. I'm unfazed by the actual gash.
Okay,
Yeah.
do you look at it?
Yeah, I'll look at it.
Can I take a look at her real quick and see if is she like totally gone dead or is this recent?
Go and roll me a medicine check.
I'm not a doctor. I'm not a doctor.
I was supposed to.
It's a 6.
She is completely dead.
Okay.
But you are not sure of. you're not sure if it was like literally you guys walked outside and then she died. You can't tell exactly
How long
when
ago,
it
but
was.
it's just, she's gone.
Are you looking over the note?
Yeah, I'm looking over the note. I'm unfazed by her death.
As you look at the note, it simply says, "Nice try, Darrison," and then it has a little dash mark, and it says LV.
Okay, I'm gonna read this and go. What did you do? This vote, it says your name in written words. What did you do? What's happening? Why am I here? What's going on?
Who's LV?
First thing that pops in my head, Lady Vey.
Oh my god. Okay. How does she know we're here?
This is so weird. I thought we were like chummy, but I guess she probably knows that. Anyway,
So
what did
you would
I
know
do?
this? And you would know this. Charm person.
Oh yeah, she knows that I charmed her.
After
Oh.
the time frame ends, they know that you actively charmed them, and they know
does she
that
know
they've
my
been
name?
had.
How'd you know where you
gave me a
were?
fake name.
I'm sorry.
Did you give a? Oh no, you gave Lucian. I'm so sorry. So it just says Lucian.
Oh, it says
So
Lucian.
it says Lucian. I forgot that you gave a fake
well
name
then,
for that.
what did
It
you
says
do?
whatever name that you gave. Yeah.
Okay,
So it would
what
say
did
that.
you do?
Yeah.
Your name is on this parchment, and I want what?
Yeah. So
LV.
Yes. Uh-huh.
yeah. And this is when Darrison catches on.
Okay.
I wanna and can I like I wanna try to keep Lucian from seeing the dead body. I wanna protect his poor.
Oh my goodness.
What's
No,
going
no,
on
no,
over
no.
there?
I put a hand on his chest and kind of push him back out of the room. LV. If I had to guess, Lady Vey. Remember Pink?
Oh, you did this.
Smoke
This
lady.
is you. This is you.
A little bit. So
All right, and
I have my methods, but my methods are not always subtle, I guess. So, okay, I magically influenced her to give me information, and she probably knows that it was magical influence because, I mean, look, it's probably the same thing that she did to the people in that poor workshop, okay?
Yes,
so
but-
it's kind of a fair is fair kind of thing, so I don't really think I did anything wrong.
okay, as she
But
she gashed. Oh, this person slit.
What?
Oh,
yeah,
Okay,
I pushed my way through,
Lucian, oh no.
So you push your way through.
and then I try to hold back vomit
Oh my goodness.
because this is.
Make a Constitution saving throw.
Oh,
Oh
no.
god.
If you go say you're trying to hold back, I'm gonna make you do it. Come on.
Yeah. Luckily, I have a pretty good throw. Ooh, 23.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
oh.
you're great.
I'm.
Like it's a little startling, but
Just a little
let's be
hiccup.
Oh.
real. You're a little familiar with flesh magic, so like it startles you, and like it's the startle that sparks your gag reflex. But like after a minute, you're like, no, it's fine, it's okay. I've seen worse.
So
but
we
then-
should probably get out of here because there's a dead person here and it's not our fault. Lucian, you've been very brave. Let's go.
No,
And I'm gonna
wait,
pat him on the
wait,
back
wait,
and we're
wait, wait,
walking
no,
out.
you're staying here.
I'm not staying
yes,
anywhere
you're
near a
staying-
crime scene.
No, yes.
We could blow up the building.
Okay, yes, we might have to now because of Darrison.
Um,
First off, you gave the name Lucian. Did you give his last name?
No, I don't even know his last name.
You don't know my last name?
Okay. No, this is good, Lucian. We don't need those access all in this because Lady Vey is gonna show up to your house because of him. This is his fault. Okay. Maybe we should blow this up.
This is sounding like a really, really good plan. I think we
Do
should.
not go anywhere. Do not go anywhere.
Let's all walk outside.
There's no reason to blow it
Let's
up
Yes, sir. Oh, okay. Wait, well, hold on. Actually, you gotta bring up a good point. Where are the things? Where are all the contraptions? They're not on her body. Someone stole them. They had to have. I guess I look around some more, or...
Yeah, go ahead and give me a quick investigation
Okay.
check. I'm gonna say at disadvantage since it's like kind of slightly panicking.
Okay. Oh, natural 20.
Well, you roll again
Ah,
and take the
damn
lower.
it.
I'm so sorry. I know I'm a terrible person.
Oh,
A
I
19.
see.
Oh,
Yes.
that's
it's
not
still a
too
19.
bad.
Brave and Claude to the stage.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go.
So you look around, and there are none. There are maybe like her tools themselves
Okay.
are still around, but none of the active pieces that she was working on are still around.
Okay.
But you do gather with that high of a roll. I hate you. You do gather with that high of a roll, even at disadvantage. It's fine. That it would have taken more than just her to get out.
Oh, so there was help. Oh, so you're saying
She
that...
may have had
Help.
extra people with her.
Okay.
Um,
You mean
but-
Lady Vey as her?
Yes.
Okay.
But with all of the chaos that was going on in the Grove, who knows if they saw anything.
Okay. So
It was probably a great time for her to be like,
Yeah.
great.
I
So-
just wanted to
Let's
stop
look.
device manufacture, and it stopped.
okay.
I'm just outside. I'm
Yeah, you're just
I'm
here,
waiting to
so-
hear all this.
So
you do like you've been hearing this conversation.
So I can hear it. Am I able to, while I'm outside, because there's only one door, am I able to, like, since I don't have, like, supervision, am I able to pick up on anything that would lead me to know if anybody else walked out?
Sure. Go ahead and roll me a investigation check as you're kind of like checking out the door and hearing all this to see if you can pick up on any like tracks or anything like that.
19.
19. So you don't pick up on any tracks or anything, but you do catch.
Would that be on survival, though, in tracks?
This is just investigation to
Okay.
like check it
Investigation.
out.
Looking
Yeah,
around.
You're just checking
Oh,
to
well,
see if you
18.
see anything before you can actually start like tracking.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
One thing that you do see is that it looks like there is a like a dropped piece of equipment that leads the other direction, like that leads back into it. But you go and you like pick it up and you kind of like look around and it doesn't seem like there are any tracks or anything like that.
Okay.
So it looks like they may have been moving quickly. But it doesn't look like they left any active traces as they were moving.
Am
If
I able
you're-
to tell what piece it is that they dropped?
You look at it and it's one of the stun rods that
Okay.
dropped. It's not active and it was separated from the device itself. Either it was a part of the main device that was taken or it was just one of the contraptions that was taken from there,
Okay.
so on and so forth.
if you're wondering where she went, remember Lady Vey does turn into mist, so she's probably long gone.
But
I
Mist
think-
can't carry items.
If we
And she
Are going
did
to
give
leave.
you a address. I mean,
Yeah,
at
I
this
have-
point,
I have an address.
At this
If we're going to demo this building, we probably want to be far away when it happens, because I'm not trying to be complicit in murder.
But
So
you are. This is your fault.
It's a crime scene now anyway, so they can't do more
it's called a
construction
cover-up, Luminitza. You should know a few things about
Why do
things
we need to
in
You
our
cover it
think
up?
this
We
is
didn't
my
do
hand?
it.
I'm so much better at covering up than this. This is.
Cool. Then let's cover up this murder and
Okay.
let's get
But
out
it's
of
not
this.
even our murder.
It doesn't matter. Darrison and I cannot be near this.
We're definitely all. This place reeks of us
Well,
right now. So
It's not Selesnya, so do what you want with it.
Okay.
We can't just desecrate this corpse.
Yes, we can.
this corpse is already long desecrated, bud.
That reminds me, I loot the corpse.
so there isn't much around, but you do gather
Such a
her
curious
tools that are
elephant.
around. You're at least able to gather up that much. So you do have a set
Like, I
of
don't
Tinker's
approve
tools.
of these actions.
But you're not thinking like
Those are
besides-
pretty much the
gonna blow
only
it up
items that
anyway.
were left within the store.
No, I mean I'm
Okay.
with
I
you.
would like to
Okay.
come,
There's-
and at this point, guys, whatever's going on here, it's not important.
We're
Let's
gonna blow up the
go.
building.
Well, I guess it's a good thing because all the stuff is gone, and I found this outside, and I hold up the stun rod. Looks like I don't know who or what, but people are gone, and I don't know what's happening here. But
As you guys are having this conversation, no, it's okay. The dryad, Dynia, is looking over and she kind of like makes eye contact with you.
okay,
And she kind of like is like looking in, and those of you that are like within the shop can like look through and see, even though it's a dingy window,
Yeah.
you can see square over, and she's like looking back and forth between Korak and like y'all, and like Korak and y'all.
Yeah, I'm gonna go
and-
after her.
Yeah.
yeah, I would take that as a suggestion to go. after
Y'all
her.
should leave, and then
I assume you have some remote spark ability.
Yes.
y'all
y'all
Alright.
should leave.
Dynia, at this point, you see her handing that, and she kind of like bids the drakes, and they fly up to the top of that little cliffside entrance or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And she kind of like walks over to you. She says, "Is there a problem? Are we all right?"
Yes.
Is
Yes.
Things could be better.
Well,
she
I
just
mean,
kind of like peers in. She's like, I'm not saying I can help you all get away from a sticky situation, but if you all feel unwelcome right now,
The situation is very sticky and it's not our glue. So
she goes, great. Let me do this. And she kind of like bids you all to like exit. She's like,
I'm leaving.
She's
I'm
like,
leaving.
I'm not going to look in. I don't know what happened here. I'm not going to see a single thing. I don't want to know, and I won't deal with it. She goes, these are civilization matters, and in the Beast Haven, unfortunately, oftentimes beasts have their way. And she just kind of like gestures up to the drakes, and she kind of
Oh,
like
no.
bids them, and you see the drakes kind of like fly a little bit further up, and they start like hovering over the building, and she just kind of like looks over you, and she's like,
I'm power walking in the opposite
She's
direction.
like,
I'm just
great, you all can go, and I'm just going to have these drakes go inside and fly around a bit,
Mhm.
and whatever happened because of it happened.
See, that is how you do
Great.
a cover up.
That's how
Okay.
Selesnya
Great.
does
She's like, I don't want to hear that word.
Oh.
Go. All of you. Now.
I don't feel good about this at all.
Leave.
Doesn't matter.
Is it
Let's
really-
go.
Okay, you're
Is this
I'm
your
already
neighborhood?
leaving. I'm leaving.
It is
Leave.
my neighborhood,
It's-
and we are leaving.
We're leaving.
Thank you. Go.
We're gone.
Now.
We're gone.
We're going.
Thank you.
And she just kind of like holds up her fingers, and she waits for y'all to get to like almost the end of the district, and like Stone and some of you are kind of like looking back, and she just kind of goes, and both of them descend down in, and she just points a finger straight into the building, and they flutter in, and you just start hearing crashing of cabinets and workbenches, and the bench that was over it topples over onto it, and you just hear this clattering and banging, and it's starting now to get the attention of like some of the Azorius people in there. And you see her trying to like hold up her hand. She's like, stop, no, calm down. And she's trying to like act like she's
Yeah.
drying them out, whatever, as you guys just continue moving out from that area.
Okay.
So you guys get a couple streets away,
Mm-hmm.
and you're able to kind of like stop for a minute and feel safe that you can stop for a minute now that you're a good number of blocks away from it.
I would just like to say, Lucine, you were very brave today.
Oh my
You did a
goodness.
wonderful job with the drakes.
You were brave. You didn't go into an imaginary crate.
And you didn't get hurt. We didn't get hurt, and that's what's important.
Well, okay, but whose fault is it? I mean, Darrison, you should know better than this. We're dealing with somebody that can turn into mist, almost killed Lucian, and you gave. I don't. This is not how I operate. This is too.
her my name. I gave her a name, the first one that came to mind.
And she trapped
That wasn't
us.
my own.
She trapped us. I mean,
She tracked the person that was making the machines, which I assume she already knew because they had the blueprints. I'm sure they had a connection already. I don't think it's really my fault. It sounds to me like she's trying to cover her own tracks because clearly the Demir, who are not supposed to be involved in this at all, are tied up with an X. Is it creating machines for the Azorius? This is getting very confusing.
XX is.
do I need to show you the note again? That has "nice try, Lucian" on it. How did she know? How did she know you were here?
I don't know how she knew I was here. I don't think that she was specifically coming after me. She doesn't know.
You don't think that what you did was wrong and that she couldn't have possibly tracked you?
I'm not saying that what I did was or was not wrong. I'm saying it was less wrong than what she was doing, which makes it not so bad.
Wait, this
You
was,
don't cover your
Okay,
tracks
this was
very
part
well.
of her production line. That's an odd.
Yeah,
Could it?
I really don't think that this
Oh,
is a personal vendetta. I had no previous connection to this woman, and
I have no time for this. So we're done.
So at this point, where are we heading next? What is it? What
What's
is the next plan of action?
closest? Because there was the goblins and then the note with Lady Vey. What's the closest at this point? Or the Red
So
Beast?
both are
Those are
within
both-
the same general area. The location that you have for Lady Vey is off of 10th Street, And 10th Street leads up into the Smelt Ward, which is where the Goblin Gang hideout is located. It is probably nearing around noon at this time, so you guys could continue on with the day and head towards either of those locations. You could check in the next. Like, what would you guys like to do?
We should absolutely not go to the address she gave you. If she's willing to kill people after tracking us down, and she gave you an address, you think we're just going to be able to walk in and everything's going to be just fine and dandy and nothing's going to happen to us?
I wasn't even considering that for a second. I think that maybe we change tack a bit here and see what our friends in the Shatter Gang have going on and see how they play into this in some way. And honestly, personally, I think that if we know anyone within the Izzet League, I think we should investigate where this craftswoman came from, why she left, and how she would get mixed up with cross paths with a Demir agent.
Wait a minute. Did you charm one of the Shatter Gang agents?
Oh, he did.
I did not.
What?
Well, I did
I call
charm him,
bullshit.
but it was
I was
purely
there.
natural.
Otherwise, they might be just as angry as Lady Vay.
I
Just
charmed him, but it
speculating.
was of my own natural charisma.
Uh-huh.
Have we decided on my Izzet contact yet?
We are working on that.
Okay, so I don't have.
But you do still have, you do have one.
I mean, is it
We just don't
contact
have,
too?
the name
Oh, yeah,
for them.
Okay.
Yeah, you
we
both have one, we
Izzet.
just don't have the name for them.
Okay,
So you two have contacts within the Izzet League.
cool.
So if you want to go that route, we can do so.
So, I was there. Whatever you did with that goblin, I'm pretty sure they're gonna hate us just as much as you've already made this lady
I
hate us.
promise you that whatever I did with that goblin was not a trick.
Well, we can go check out the
I call
goblins
his
and find
bullshit.
Make an insight check.
I want to call his bullshit so bad. Natural 20.
He is not he did not use magic to charm the goblin.
Oh, he didn't?
No,
I
Okay,
did not.
No, he didn't.
No, it was some
He
good
didn't-
persuasion checks.
He did not use magic to charm the goblin, so in a lot of charming magics that bring people over to your side, afterwards they know that they've been fooled and are naturally more hostile to you than they normally would be.
Yeah.
So he did not use those against a goblin, but a spy woman who is very deceitful and automatically hostile towards people was charmed
Okay.
and then more hostile towards a person.
Okay,
touched a
so,
nerve, she's sensitive about it.
maybe you didn't charm this goblin, but isn't this lady's hideout and these goblins in the same area? I mean, I've got a connection that is it, and we don't know anything about this lady that was just killed, and she's who X is it.
That's what I'm saying. I think if we find out what went wrong with her in the Izzet, we can find out how she got mixed up in making machines for the Demir. Clearly, she said she was being paid by Azorius just to make them, but I don't think that's as far as the story goes.
Who are the
And I
machines for?
agree.
Because,
The Orzhov?
well, the
It's
Azorius...
obvious.
Oh,
Or
no,
Azorius, sorry.
Okay.
The Azorius are using
I-
them, but they were stolen by this Lady Vay. Do we even know her guild? Maybe guildless?
Lady
She was
Vay is
working
a-
with the guildless.
Lady Vay is a Demir agent.
Lady Vay's
How do
Demir.
you know that this Lady Vay is still gonna be at this place, if not later trapped? This sounds
I have...
officially
It feels like you're all working under the assumption that I ever want to cross paths with Lady Vay again. I do not. I know how my tricks turn out, and I know a bad person when I see one, and she was a bad person. I did what I had to do to get as much information as we could, but I'm not planning on making friends with Lady Vay.
Then let's go to the Izzet. Unless
I think if we go to the Izzet and we lay low for a bit, we, maybe Lady Vay's got it out of her system. I don't know. And
Got
And
it
we
out
figure
of her
out-
system.
the murderous vendetta she has against me, or what?
I'm pretty sure she's still gonna come after you.
Well, we'll see. Is she going to cross half of the city to track us down in the Izzet League?
Didn't she practically already? She killed somebody we could have got information out of.
Let's check out the goblins, because we know that someone intelligent and deceitful is not going to go hanging out with goblins.
Really?
Well,
Really? Goblins are pawns
Exactly. The
that a
small,
smart
worthless creature I
person
can
that
step
can
on.
use.
I would
It should be
say,
easy to intimidate.
I think in Shadowgang territory we'd be relatively safer, because a clear act of aggression within gang territory is not going to go well. She's clearly
That's
very
a good point.
good at what she does, but I don't think she wants to piss off an entire gang of goblins. So
I agree.
if
I
we stay there,
agree.
less likely for someone to die. Just a lateral
That's true.
stealth from, get lost in the crowd for a bit.
Then let's put this up to a vote.
Okay. And the vote is goblins or
is it?
I agree with Darrison.
What, for the goblin territory?
Yeah.
Oh, is that what side I'm on? Yeah, goblin sounds great.
Even though I hate goblins, I think they'll hold the most useful information for us at this point.
We should go to the Izzet.
Of course you're going to be contrary.
I think we should go to the Izzet. I've got a contact in the Izzet that could help us.
Look at where his ideas have gotten us so far.
But the Izzet's
His
even worse
ideas
than
have
goblins.
gotten you in a hot load of shit.
Yeah, a woman is dead.
So,
The original plan was to head to the Shadowgang territory towards the evening.
Yeah.
The two of you that have contacts within the Izzet, we could rule that you two would be able to go and check in with your Izzet contacts.
okay.
And then meet up towards Twilight on 10th Street with the rest of the party to confer back.
Okay, then
Okay.
I
So
would actually
there,
like to
the
do that.
option for both is there.
That
if you
sounds
both
like a
wish to
great
do that.
idea. That you guys go and check with
Oh,
your
no,
Izzet
I'm going
contacts.
with the goblins, absolutely.
I'm gonna go check my contact.
They're
I-
not.
I
If they're not
Korak.
after you, you guys go check in with your Izzet contacts, and we don't draw any unwanted attention that direction.
He obviously wants to go smash
I'll stay on.
goblins.
I'm
Let
gonna
him
go
go
smash goblins because I don't believe that the Izzet is going to be caught up with an ex-Izzet affiliate.
So
They
we're
want
gonna.
information.
So the idea is that we're
Check
going to
it out.
have Korak, I assume, assisted by Lucian. Korak, assisted by Lucian, is going to go check in with their Izzet contact, and then towards Twilight, connect back with the rest of you on 10th Street for more information, so that you guys can gather together and go meet up with Darrison's friends back in the Shadowgang
just
Brothers
back.
gang. Correct?
Yes, I would like.
Great. Well, that is where we will end things this evening. And next time we will pick up with checking in with the Izzet League about Zloval and their connections there before we head into Shadowgang territory and start investigating their connection to all of these matters and how they factored in with the public display and how everything got connected there. Thank you guys so much for watching in tonight for our third episode. Again, thank you guys so much for getting us to the point where we are Twitch affiliates. You can continue to subscribe and Twitch subscribe to the channel. If you know anybody who is an Amazon Prime member, they can use their Twitch Prime and Amazon Prime account to be able to subscribe for free, so please continue to promote us to do so. If you guys have any questions for us this week, please feel free to reach out to us via Twitter, Instagram, or our Discord channel, which is right here. And you guys can reach out to us that way. Otherwise, we will see you guys next week on Sunday. Thank you guys so much. Again, happy Trans Day of Visibility, and thank you guys so much for joining us for the third episode of Color Guards. Have a good night, everyone. Bye.